What's up, everybody? It's That Anime Show. I'm Terri Doty.
I'm J. Michael Tatum.
And today, our very special guest is Chris Cason.
Hello. This interview is real! I can't wait. Real.
I texted you earlier with the address, and just to make sure you have it, you went, oh, yeah. That's exactly how I read it.
That's how I said it. Yeah, because so often with text, you don't get
the text and you go,
yeah.
It's difficult to convey.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me being like, oh, yeah.
I love trying to be...
It wasn't.
No, there was an exclamation mark.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes the oh yeah with a ... like we got this.
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Laid back.
With my mind on my money.
Oh, you know it. Yeah.
How are you today, sir?
I'm pleased as punch. I'm happy as a clam to be here, and I want to thank you in advance for at least an hour and a half of some hardcore sparkling conversation. Let's do this, to quote myself again.
Well, now the burden of sparkle is on you, sir, because I'm not a sparkler.
That is not true.
Now you turn the mic on and I freeze up. I don't sparkle at all. I become as dull as
The
marble.
sparklers are good. I mean... But not sparklers themselves, because us as kids were like sparklers and smoke bombs, but as an adult you're like, I think David Telley's like, sparklers are the gay cousin of the firework family. You love them, but you're not excited to see them. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. It's funny.
Yeah.
We used to like do fireworks every 4th of July out of my grandparents. Like they had this little farm, their little summer away home or whatever, and the kids always got to hold the sparklers. That was the one thing we were allowed to handle of the fireworks. Nothing else.
Like if you put it next to your skin, you can burn the shit out of
nothing.
Yourself, but you can hold it.
Yeah, you can hold this right here.
Just put it really close to your face and wait. It's the best 4th of July ever.
I like when they put them on plates to serve with meals. And you're like, when does this stop? When can I eat my food?
Well, actually, the Rainforest Cafe, I don't know. Yeah, that's a national chain.
Sorry, I smile every time I think of that.
Of course.
I've never been.
Oh, if you don't look, when the storm, you've been there. When the storm comes, when the storm comes, the apes and the elephants go nuts.
What's happening?
All the animatronic animals go crazy. About once every 20 to 30 minutes, there's a thunderstorm.
Annoying if you have a
little monsoon blows through the restaurant.
Yeah, and they go crazy for it. They're scared, but they love it. They keep coming back.
You're trying to eat your meal, and it's like, all over the place.
It's like, I'm trying to finish my steak.
Or if you've got a very soft-spoken waiter. All right, will there be anything else? Or today our specials are...
What? I can't hear all the thunder.
I ate one at the Rainforest Cafe, and there was this rather ill-proportioned ape pounding his or her chest. I think maybe it was a her. And the girl.
Are these people?
These are animatronics.
These are animatronics. Okay. Are like all over the place. It's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese that someone decided let's go for realism.
Let's go.
Instead of dressing up, the hound dog's not going to be Elvis.
I don't know. Chuck E. Cheese, mice and pizza kind of go together, right?
Oh yeah.
You're the birthday, boy or girl.
Again, we've discussed this. I'm not allowed at any Chuck E. Cheese chain.
Is it redundant for me to...
No.
Really?
Yeah,
Do tell.
I love this story.
No, my...
Speaking of sparklers.
Yeah.
What did you do, Ray?
I was babysitting a child. I will not say how I am related to this child.
Nephew too.
It sounds like my chlorine.
Bastard son.
Happy birthday.
I'm hungry.
No, but I had this very treasured ring at the time, which it was like when I had to wear a ring on each finger, which was
like Liberace.
Yeah. Who knew?
Fantastic.
Yes, that's real pewter.
Would fly in.
He's such a ladies' man. Who knew?
Yeah.
Right, under that rhinestone piano, man. He had to.
He literally flew in.
He had
on a harness. He flew in and flapped his cape.
I know, man. Chick magnet. I mean, come on, they were so. That's why he wore all those furs, because they was like, I'm totally gonna attract them this way. It's like,
That's why I need padding from these bitches. I don't know why.
Sorry. So to continue.
Oh, but yeah, no. My, let's say, nephew. It could be real. You don't know. You don't know my family tree.
It's good. This whole story could be fiction.
He took a ring off one of my more special rings and threw it.
One of your 10
One of
rings.
my 10 rings.
But that he managed to exactly find the most important ring.
No, one of it,
because they're all important.
well, yeah. Obviously, because I still have all of them.
Oh, do you really?
No.
Okay, you just took me to school and I failed. All right, it's whatever.
You failed.
She does that, by the way. She does that. You just have to sort
You
of
burnt.
just nod and listen for your name.
But no, he threw it and it fell under the mechanical Chucky, the one that boo-doo. It may have been the Chucky or it may have been the dog. I forget.
Jasper T. Jowls? I mean, or whatever he's called.
Is that what he's called? I don't. Dude,
You were there just yesterday, weren't you?
I have a Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, I was in the backstroke of the ball crawl. Actually, I have a whole story about Chuck E. Cheese too. But please,
You're next.
See, we have another. Hey,
There you go.
Yeah.
But no, and so to stop because I see it, I hold on to Jasper. And Jasper goes from like down to and so we were asked to leave because it looked like, I guess to them it just looked like I just walked up randomly and went motherfucker or something. But, yeah.
situation in the front room.
And you shout out to all the kids. Yeah, sorry, Jasper's
Man,
dead.
you can't do that.
It's a fright.
That's the most terrifying thing at Chuck E.
And
Cheese.
starts singing Bicycle Bill for 2.
But yeah, so they made a copy of my driver's license, and I was asked never to return.
They huh?
Yeah.
At Chuck E. Cheese, okay.
I'm not allowed to be at any chain, apparently.
But a mom and pop Chuck E. Cheese, cool. That's a whole other story.
So what's your Chuck E. Cheese story?
Well,
you said you had one.
Yeah, fucker.
You have and floodgates. You just.
It better be good.
Well, it's not. You just so happen to be talking to an ex-employee of Chuck E. Cheese.
I
worked
sure
there-
we talked about this.
I worked there for a couple of years in high school, and maybe not 1 year after that. So maybe a total of 3 years. I did everything from
Wait,
working.
after high school, everything takes off, right?
Right.
Why were you?
I was just.
It's all a fog. It's all a
to pay for my
fog.
mom's operation, Terry. Anyway,
Rings off a finger.
Did your mom want to become an animatronic character?
yeah. Well, we all
She
have
wants
our
to become a
aspirations.
cyborg that looks like a hound dog.
By the way, when you
girl.
peek behind the curtain, they still slightly move. It's like they're moving and they're like
They're
open their eyes
twitching.
and look at you and they'll turn back without music. It's really creepy. But,
They're really sentient. They're slowly
Or
developing
sweeping up
consciousness.
like after a night of fun, and this tomorrow.
And Chucky looks at you.
let's stop the car. How do you define a night of fun?
A night of fun, spending a shit ton, having fake money, and maybe getting fucking VD from a ball pit.
Well, that's fair.
Awesome.
I don't need to tell you how they clean the ball crawl, but it is not the way you in particular would want it.
Sounds like
it's
my
rather
21st
lax.
birthday. What?
No,
be fair.
Chuck E. Cheese is in no way awesome.
No, I worked there for many years. I did everything from
I have a lot of friends that work there too. Yeah.
working the merchandise, which is the worst job ever, to making the pizzas themselves, to actually dressing up as the characters there. I said it. I've done it all.
Wow.
And
You have my respect now. That's like you're like a Vietnam
didn't
vet
before.
now.
I know. I've got the Chucky.
Got the Chuck E.
He's still like
cred.
every time someone talks about pizza, he just starts going la 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 la.
Whose
Slowly I
birthday is
turn.
it?
Slowly, he starts doing the robot.
Yeah, it's good.
So was that
my
the story,
Jeopardy
or is
jokes.
that just like prelude to the story? Do you have a story? Do you have an incident? Did like a kid set you on fire? Or
I was badly burned about my chest, neck, and arm area. I have 2nd-degree burns. No, I don't. Well, it's just little. I mean, it's just anecdotal. You know, like it's little small things here and there, like the ball. Well, I was going to go into it. I don't want to disparage this Like, I don't want to single-handedly. Let's not take down Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, it's terrible. Not that. I mean, that anime show
What do you
is
think
powerful.
our fans do in their free time? They're like, all right, noted. Chuck E. Cheese.
Are you kidding? They're all going to go to Chuck E. Cheese now. You can't buy advertising like this.
Well, they took
If
the
I
ball
want to piss
crawl out.
off kids, I'll go
Because
to
they
Fun
now
Park.
know how to break the animatronics.
Yeah, go up to
So
it
they're
and
gonna
pull.
go. They're gonna be like, dude, all we have to do, yeah.
You have to touch it.
Yeah,
You have
pretty
to, all you
much.
have to just touch it.
Well, they took down the ball crawls are almost completely removed from Chuck E. Cheese now, and actually they even scaled
Because
back
of
Because of all the
grossness.
venereal disease.
Well, because of the urine. Mostly because of the copious amounts of urine. Kids thought it was a big toity and dropped it like it was hot in that place. And
It
it's hard.
stayed hot.
Yeah, it's smoked. It's difficult to really ascertain which child. I mean, there's no fingerprints for Duke.
What child is this?
It's like, these balls are soggy. 2, 3, 4, and then they walk into Chuck E. Cheese. Come on, no, but
It's like a bowl of tricks.
the joke's on you. Ugh, it's rough.
I
Yeah.
put milk in mine and apple juice. That's just weird.
But it was never. But it was never the kids. It was never the kids. It was always. It was always the
Douchebags.
parent. Yeah.
Isn't that always the way? Isn't
Yeah.
that always the way? The parents are like the kids are like, Mom, Dad, you please calm down.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing me in front of my other 6-year-old friend.
Just give me a couple of
And
tokens
the
and I'm
parents are all
good.
kind of like,
This child, it's my
Just
child's
give me a
turn
couple
to play on
tokens,
this.
I'll walk away,
Yeah.
we'll all be happy.
Yeah. The parents have a sense of like, my child was ripped off. It's like they don't care.
Now,
But-
when I was a child, there was a Chuck E. Cheese that was like far enough away from my house to have been, quite a trek to go. It's like, it's like
Called
30
it Charles
minutes away.
Queso.
No, it was a Chuck E. Cheese, and it was right next door. Not right next door. It's down the street from a Showbiz Pizza. You remember those?
they were separate at that time.
They were separate at
Showbiz
that time.
Pizza?
Showbiz Pizza and
merged
Chuck E. Cheese, they
wisely.
merged because
Oh, okay.
Showbiz Pizza was never
Because
quite as
growing up,
popular.
I didn't really go to Chuck E. I went to Peter Piper Pizza.
Showbiz Pizza didn't.
Charles
Showbiz
Queso.
Pizza didn't last that long, as I recall.
Charles Queso.
But it was a similar
No, there's
concept.
still one in Arlington.
Showbiz?
Not Showbiz.
No,
I
the
was
Chuck
talking-
E.
Chuck E.
Cheese's
Cheese.
have been around.
No, I was
but-
talking
but-
about Peter
But Showbiz
Piper.
Pizza. Oh yeah, no, but Showbiz Pizzas didn't last very long, as I remember. But when I went, I mean, I was little, so this was way back in the day when when Chuck E. still wore the bowler hat and had the vest. He wasn't like the
wow.
athlete now. Like apparently
With the
he's got
skateboarder?
like the jersey and the hat. And
They should
everything,
thin
and
him out.
and
Thin
the
him out a
pads.
little.
Yeah.
He was like a vaudeville performer back when
Yeah.
it was like, hello my baby, hello my honey, that sort of thing. And they had, this is how little they cared about child safety when I was a kid at Chuck E. Cheese. First of all, to get to the play area from the dining, from the cafeteria area, or whatever you want to call it, was like this little mouse hole shaped corridor that was strung with strobe lights.
Yeah.
And it was all
I
dark
remember
except
that.
for these strobe lights. So you can go through there and kids will be like, look, it looks like I'm moving in slow motion. And no, it doesn't. It just looks like you're moving in a strobe light. But we're kids, it's easy. But
I'm 7.
Or no,
The epileptic children
the kid
never
that just
made it very
waves their
far.
hand in their face. Yeah, they're like, whoa.
yeah, so the
and I'm
epileptic
done.
children never made it very far into the playroom.
What do they sound like?
That's what they sounded like.
There are a couple kids that don't want to go in. They're just laying on the floor.
And they had they had the ball pit, they had the trail mix, and they had all this, but they had among
Trail mix. That's not fun. Look,
that's what we called the ball pit in retrospect. It's like the trail mix. Like there's a lot more in here than just balls.
That's fair.
Story of my life. But anyway, I don't even know what that really means. I don't know in
Do you
what
know
way that's
what
a
you-
euphemism for
That's
anything.
a loaded yeah. Hardcore.
That's one of those
Balls.
lazy euphemisms. I'm just gonna say it and let you figure it out because I have no idea what I mean. But
Or you go, after something.
but there
I
was
don't know.
that one is also sexual. But they had a ride you could get on that was at least 10, 15 feet above the ground.
Cool.
It was like a parachute harness that was on a track, and it was a slanting track so there was it was just your own weight propelled you forward on this thing, but it took you all the way
Sex for a fat
around.
kid.
Through a series of switching.
Or X, or it was awesome because it was fast.
And it
Maybe
was
that was the best ride.
Yeah, but they had this. They
The
had
only
this.
time I was ever fast.
I used my own weight.
I was going 3 miles an hour. But this parachute thing, it was called the parachute. It was just like this harness, and they hung you up on this freaking thing, and just like 15 feet above the play area, and they just kind of let you go, and you're like, And then you stop, and like, and then, of course they got rid of that a long time ago. But I'm thinking to myself, man, they just did not give a shit what happened to us when we were kids. They're like, yeah, strobe lights.
Think about it now. It's just like.
You're
and they
kidding.
got what plastic did they use to build that slide? I swear to God, if it's
and
a
there
seven,
also
if it's
there
a
was
7,
where the hound dog used to be, the one that was like doing the whole Elvis bit in like one of the other rooms.
Right, not Jasper T. Giles, by the way.
Yes, I forget this one's name, but he was a hound dog, and he was dressed like he was dressed like Elvis, and he was in a separate room in his own little stage, and right in front of the stage there was like 6 or 7 of these stools that would kind of go up and down,
I remember
in rhythm to the song, but kind of like staggered next to each other, and these things were like arranged in such a way that if like I did as a child, sat on one of these things and put your hands underneath the stool.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
You'd crush your hands.
Absolutely.
And it went down, and I found out the hard way that, and I was like, oh, my hands, my fingers, it obviously didn't slice them off or anything, but it hurt.
Elvis dog broke my hands.
It was like a place you took your children just to see, like, it was natural selection at work. It was like, which only the strongest will survive.
Dude,
Party
we
at
should
Chuck E.
totally
Cheese.
make that fucking play area / eatery. Call
That's a
it
horror
Darwin.
movie that needs
It's
to
like
happen,
Survivor.
actually. Yeah.
Darwin Awards.
Welcome
now
to
a
Pizza
restaurant.
Party.
And they also, and now they have a thing where kid check, where as you leave, you have to, because when you walk in, you have to have your hand stamped. You have to make sure that you're with the party that you leave with. Back then, it was like, hey, look, I walked in with one kid, I got 7. Bye. I'm going to go to my van with the no windows.
I'm a tribble.
I mean, that could
We
have
make those terrible jokes all the time, but think about it. Like, if you were an employee there too, like, if you've been there for more than a couple hours, the kids all start to look the same. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, the one with snot on his nose and crying and blonde and fat.
With a bunch of fucking tokens, but he took them all apart and then handed them to me. Yeah, I remember.
with mayonnaise sauce in his mouth.
One of those kids that were fighting over the pizza. No, okay, yeah, that one. Yeah,
The one with the hair. That's the one.
Yeah, the one with the hair and the feet.
And the ball crawl?
He had both eyes. I remember he had both eyes.
Yeah.
When he came in anyway. That was before the ball pit.
Woo! I mean, he still has them. He just won't,
Yeah, they're
see
just
so
not.
well.
They're just, he still has
One's
both
just a little
eyes.
pink now.
Just one of them's in his pocket.
Oh, why?
Anyway.
We went to a putt-putt, like, just to hang out for my birthday. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to piss off a bunch of kids on a Saturday. That was my 26th birthday, and it was awesome. But it was every 5 seconds, and Steven's like, oh, God damn it. Took my fucking token again. God damn it. I'm like, how old are you? He's like, I don't care. I do not care. But then it starts like, you better go get him. And the guy would like hide from Steven. He's like, another machine's broken, bro. Come on.
Bro.
Bring it. It's like, dude, seriously. He's like, no, this thing cost 4 tokens and it only gave me 2 back.
Yeah.
I need 2.
I'm here. I want things to work. That was his position.
Bring it. I want to try to win a big fucking comb.
Did you...
There's something truly tragic about an adult that will get into a fight with an employee of a putt-putt.
Well,
It's fun, but if you go with the intention of having fun doing that, that's a whole other...
No, I didn't do that.
happening,
It just happened to go that way.
and that's the other
But if
thing.
you're there and you're like, I paid for this, I want that fucking windmill to spin, god damn it!
Well, that's the, not to bring this back to Chuck E. Cheese, because I know we're currently at Putt-Putt, but if we went back...
Well, they're right next door.
That's true.
Next, it's go-karts!
I mean, they serve, or I don't know if they they don't now, but I think they used to serve beer and
Don't
wine.
they? I think they still do.
Maybe they still do.
Wine?
So,
I remember
yeah.
them serving beer.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Because
wine.
the parents needed it. They were like,
did.
beer, please.
And here's the other thing too.
The only way we're taking our kids to this is if I can fucking.
It's time for
pound
Mama
the
to get
gotta
loaded.
drink.
Well, the
illogical. That's
the
pretty
prizes.
Mommy's
If
tired.
there's a
Mommy's
prizes for 500 tickets, first of all, it's hard to earn 500 tickets. I don't
Yes,
care how
it
old
is.
you are. By the way, that's $5. There
Yeah.
is no need for anyone to ever argue. It's like, here's a 5 spot. Give me the biggest stuffed animal. I mean, it doesn't matter. And the parents would get really upset there. And I had to deal with a lot of irate.
Man, talk about inflation when you go to Dave & Buster's, because that's
Yeah.
a place it's like 9,000 tickets for this swatch.
Or, like,
It's like, that's $90.
we did the audio for the audio for Zombie Manor, and our first year there, they gave us a bunch of gift cards. I'm like, that's cool. Why not? And didn't use any of them because most of them were for Dave & Buster's. It's like we went in, I had $25, and I'm like, it's not enough. for two of us to eat.
That's the adult Chuck E. Cheese, Dave & Buster's. Very much.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. And we went for a birthday, and it was like a gin and tonic was $7. It's not even like a double.
That was like, I had to win hoops 8 times just to get half of this drink.
I'm not even hammered.
And I didn't give it lime with it.
And most of it's ice.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's like, I feel like those chains like they spring up. And we go to them like for nostalgia because they are fun. You have to admit, but they're expensive, and you're like, you don't realize how expensive because when you're a kid, you're like, everything's free.
Yeah,
yay!
No, my mom always made me aware that she was spending money on me.
Was that before or after you broke Chuck E. Cheese?
Dude, that was me like as an adult. That was like me at like.
That was yesterday.
Yeah,
I was there. It was yesterday. Yeah. But there was speaking of, this made me think about it. You talk about, this is just how weird this is, like the crossover business of taking like what's normally thought of as something rather lowbrow and trying to make it really highbrow when not always working. There is a bowling alley in a town where we live, and
woo, that's where the Dallas Cowboys are. Work that one out.
It is, and it's we went there, because we went there on a whim. Me and my friend Denise went there one evening because we're like, let's just go check this place out.
It's
just opened
expensive.
up, and you walk in. No kidding, there is a red carpet. Leading, I mean, just walking up there looks like looks like man's Chinese theater.
Really?
I mean, it really they've got that just ritziness to it. Lanes are like $50 or something, and shoe rentals are crazy. I mean, I may be exaggerating, but it's not like the $10 you'd expect or like the $5 for a lane at most bowling alleys. And we went there, and there was a wait to get a bowling alley where it was going to be an hour and a half. And the reason was not because the lanes were being taken up by people playing the game, but like there were 8 lanes being taken up by a motivational speaker and his audience. Now, what the hell is that? And I'm like going, you've got to be kidding me. So we went to a Dave & Buster's
speaker
instead.
At a Splitsville bowling alley?
Yes.
Couples.
It was like a Dr. Phil type guy. It was like
Dr. Vil.
Dr. Vil.
I am Dr. Vil.
Willpower.
Welcome.
Welcome. Men are from Venus, men are from Mars.
And I speak Venusian.
And I speak English. But yeah, so I don't know how we got off of that, but I was just thinking to me, like, a bowling alley where you go to hear a motivational speaker, and like it's kind of an uncomfortable crossover to me. I'm like, I want bowling alleys to be trashy and cheap.
Yeah, like the one down from our place, it's $1.69 like every Saturday for a game.
Do they have the thing where they have the glow in the dark nights? Mm-hmm. Yeah, strong.
Or like when they're like, all right, it's 8 o'clock, and they're like, what the fuck is a disco ball doing here?
All right, everybody, it's time to go bowling.
It's like I haven't been in.
It's not even like a DJ, it's a recording.
Yeah, it's just
like the guy on your screen's like, whoa.
It's time for the newest hit, Axel F. Yeah.
This makes me want to go to a roller rink.
Me too.
There's a roller rink right by the fucking bowling alley.
We are going roller skating because I'm telling you, even with my feet, maybe even because of my feet, I am a fucking demon on roller skates.
Really?
Like roller blades and ice skates? No. But like roller skates, I kick ass. Now I say that now, I'm probably gonna fall on my face the first time I do it. But when I was a kid, I skated all the time, and I was good.
Yeah?
I don't know how that is. It's just like...
How are you not a car hop?
Well, I was for a little while.
Faster
I was a
than ever.
cigarette girl.
I don't even remember the last time I went to... when I was in junior high...
I was never a cigarette girl. Let me just throw that out there.
I was going to say,
never
unless you have a flex
girl.
capacitor, there's no way. You were saying?
No, it was like a hot spot, like when I was in junior high to go to the Stadium. The Stadium.
The Stadium.
In Arlington.
The Stadium.
Yeah, no, and I went there once, I'm like, no. I'm not a skater. They're like, oh, come on. They're like, or you can get rollerblades. I'm like, how is that better? If I said I don't want 4 wheels.
Yeah.
I want 4 wheels in a line now? What?
Yeah, I just want to walk.
You
I
have
don't
more
want anything.
maneuverability that way. I'm like, yeah, you have more ways of falling in your ass.
By the way,
Stuff like that.
I don't like rollerblades. I can't. I'm not as good on rollerblades. But roller skates?
This turned into, I'm old.
I'm old. You know what I like?
I used to
8-track tape. I love 8-track tapes, and I love... you remember?
like the
you remember
flickers.
before remote controls?
Patridge Farm,
The
remember?
television.
Bordeaux. Milano.
I
I used to watch the Flickers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
But I forgot.
Originally, we called them Talkies.
The golden age. Yes.
It was funny. Like,
Pepperidge Farm remembers segregation. Like, yeah, the good old days. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Back when things were better.
Yeah.
When I could move freely. Better for me.
Remember when you weren't scared of everything?
Remember when you could... Never mind.
Distinctive cookies.
Yeah, these distinctive Bordeaux cookies remind me back when you could slap a woman. Yum, 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 yum. These are delicious.
But you hit her with a sack of oranges so she wouldn't bruise.
That's right. You'll never vote here. Yum, yum, yum. Delicious mulatto cookies. Pepperidge Farm remembers when things were simpler.
You called it an icebox and you were happy.
That's right.
You called it an icebox because there was ice inside of it. That's what kept it cold.
Here's the secret. There was ice in it. I'll be right
No
back.
fucking way.
Yeah,
It's
it was
horrible
crazy.
in any, like, if we had, flux capacitor, time
course,
machine.
of course.
It's like,
I would go back
I think
in time
it was
and fuck
Louis-
up so much shit.
it was
just to
Louis
be a
C.K.,
dick.
who's one of my favorite comedians. He goes, I think it was him. He goes, yeah, I can time travel to any point and I'm okay because I'm a white guy.
He's like, I'm a white
He's
guy.
like, but like, if I were a black guy, I wouldn't go anywhere past 1980.
1980.
And he's like, yeah, you can be a white guy and travel anywhere in time in any country just about and be like, hey, what's up? Hey, welcome. You know, but yeah, no. Any other race? Any other race. Nope.
Or
And he's like, and as a
gender,
white guy
yeah.
though, I wouldn't want to travel to the future.
It's very true.
Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard for us. And he's like, and that's a good thing.
It
We deserve it.
Terry's face got so serious and she was like, yeah, that's very true.
They had
You have never been more right.
Have there been meetings or something?
coming-
Is there?
I'm undercover, dude. I can't talk about it.
I'm with the Time Travel Society and also...
Reminded me, we would call it, like, when I worked at a music retail store, Schmishmarshminner. And
Wait, we said Chuck E. Cheese for like an hour.
Guitar Center, obviously. That's where Steven and
Guitar Center.
That's where Steven and I met. And I was, like, warned about him, like, before I met him. They're like, there's this dude with dreadlocks, which is so funny that he had dreadlocks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And, like, he's kind of an ass. And so, like, I was eating lunch, and he just walked up, like, into the lunchroom, and he's like, what's up? Hi, I'm Steven. Da-da-da. I'm like, wow, what an asshole. And we,
God, I'm glad they warned me about this
no,
guy.
we would call like other stores and be like, ask for like the most ridiculous parts or pretend to buy a really high end guitar and just never show up, obviously, and be like, because they work on commission, so we just piss off other stores. Like, yeah, I was gonna come in later for a 1962 Gibson hollow body, and I could totally help you with that. I'm like, I know you can. But we called the store asking for a flux capacitor, and the dude had never seen Back to the Future. He really looked it up.
He was looking for a flux
What?
capacitor. Like,
Hey man, I'm looking for a 1985 flux capacitor. You got one? He's like, we have everything. We're a Guitar Center. He's like, look it up, man.
Look it up.
Good luck, man.
It's a rare one.
Tell you what, man.
That voice reminds me, you called in on our second show
yes.
when we still
You
were
son of a
live, which
Hello.
is hilarious now because us live now would never.
Talking about
happen.
Battle of the Planet?
Hey man, you got that title wrong.
Shit.
You scared the shit out of
You scared the shit out of me. I thought, oh god damn it! Now I've done it. Now I've pissed off a fan.
I
in
love
my,
that
like the second
voice
show.
because there was no way I knew it was you. You're just hey.
Well, the delay is what got me because
The delay was weird.
I say what you will, man. I'll tell
It was
you what.
really hard to get
Well,
off the phone with people. It's like, all right. And they're like, da, 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 da. I'm like, oh crap, they started before they got the all right. Damn it.
or even get on the like. I remember calling. And there was such a delay that I must have the wrong number. I just hung up. That was the first clip was me going, oh, like, okay. And I called back, hello. That was actually me not knowing if I was on. That part was not
Hello?
acting.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi, man.
Hello?
Hey, you talking about that?
Operator, put me through to 3921, Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Swell.
Thanks,
Pepperidge
Jimmy.
Farm remembers.
Surely.
Swell gams. It's like, I'll tell you what, man. You can, check out my struggle buggy. Wait, now, I did. I'm the Pepperidge Farm guy as the hick from Grand Prairie. Tell you what, man.
Tell you
I
what,
love
I'm
Pepperidge
going
Farm
to do for
cookies.
it. I'm going to do for
Pepperidge
it.
Farm cookies.
Say what
She's
you-
a whore, you can tell. She shows too much ankle.
Yeah, she only has one, too. Say what you will, man. All right, Dan. Pepperidge Farm cookies. Delicious. And by the way, Pepperidge Farm cookies happen to be delicious. There, I said it.
They
I
are.
love Pepperidge
They
Farm
are
cookies.
delicious.
I
They
have
are
only
delicious.
ever had Milanos.
Milanos are good.
Oh,
That's all
Milanos are good.
Open that
and there's
door.
the...
so
yeah,
many-
Milanos are the gateway cookie.
I'm not a huge cookie person.
It's the pot of cookies.
I'm not a huge cookie person. I love like sugar
cookies.
cookies and stuff like that, but I'm not a huge cookie
Like
person.
when Kroger, for example, has
Roger.
when
Roger.
Kroger. When Kroger has a I'm K Roger. When they have, like it's Valentine's K-Rog. When they have it's like Valentine's Day and they have the sugar cookies, like red sugar cookies or whatever.
Oh, like sugar cookies with sugar that's red. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, oh look, it's Halloween. It's orange. Yeah.
Absolutely nothing different about this cookie.
It's blend cream with orange dye. Sweet.
And
black dye. Oh.
And they're cheap.
Oh.
No, I'm right. No, I look forward
a story
to
about
Halloween
that, but I'm not
for the Hershey's Kiss pumpkin. Mm-hmm. Which I interrupted a session of yours. I'm like, dude, bloom! Try these!
That was her kicking the door.
Everyone, this is the most important thing you will ever hear in your
I
life.
put them in everybody's studio.
I want to thank you right now. Thank you so much. They were every bit as good.
I brought them over to your place last year,
I
but
remember that.
next year.
They did not last very long.
No. Nothing in the candy bowl did. We're like, oh yeah, they're still trick-or-treaters. Shit.
Is that your favorite?
I started
holiday?
shooing them away.
Halloween? Hell yeah! It's my favorite. And I'm looking forward to it this year because I get trick-or-treaters this year.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Are you going to scare them?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're the scary people in the neighborhood anyway. But
Stay Adams family.
You're the Klopex.
yeah. No, we were watching The Burbs before you guys came
yeah.
over. And that's totally us. But I'm not used to being the scary people in the neighborhood. I'm used to being a type of scary person in my neighborhood.
But
Yeah,
They're the tattooed ones.
in your old neighborhood, you're not the scariest person in your neighborhood by any means. You're the most
No,
innocuous.
we're the weird one. Like, I told you last show, and I was moving stuff while Steven was at work from the place to the house, and I was holding a cow skull, which is in Steven's studio, and this guy kept looking at me while I was bringing stuff to the car, so I finally just stopped and started stroking the cow skull with blank face, though, so I'm like,
unblinking, just mad dogging him as you slowly stroke the cow skull.
and he just went like, oh shit.
letting just a little line of drool escape.
No, and then I just kind of let it hang and walked with it, kind of sagging, like, oh, he's gone. Yeah, no, that's the only kind of strange card I get to play is when I'm not showing any kind of face at all. Yeah.
Well, this year,
Comedy, tragedy, what?
theater of pain. May I suggest, may I suggest this year, if you're going to scare kids, and why wouldn't you? You have a great opportunity here. You can do the thing where you're in the front porch and you stuff you're wearing a costume and a mask and you stuff it like you're not real and you sit there and you hold the candy and they come up and you move. The other thing that's so great
Halloween's yours too, isn't it?
well, you know what?
Because you're obsessed with haunted houses, I would assume.
We share that. I mean, I love scary movies. I love haunted houses, like walk-through attractions.
Dude, this is why, I told Steven, I'm like, you are so lucky you met me, before, I met Cason, because damn.
I didn't know you said that. I could have been the weird guy at Guitar Center. But
You could have. Where were you?
I was probably at Chuck E. Cheese Sling and Pizza. I was probably in hell with a I don't know, with that monster mask on my head.
Because we all know Guitar Center was the only thing that I was like, hey, Steven, we work together. We should totally fuck this up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were warned about him. Meanwhile, as soon as you met him, you both were exactly the same person.
No, because people warn
you two.
people warn people about me all the time.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, Steven was warned about you. That would have been hilarious.
I'm sure he was.
They just wanted to keep you guys apart. It wasn't that there was anything we can't let them get together.
No, because they're just going to call. We're going to.
Well, no, because I was one of
They'll
three
be stronger as
girls.
a
I was
team.
one of three girls working there out of the 40 employees. So yeah, they wanted to keep me single.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know the ratio was that.
I won't say anything official because that could probably get me in trouble. But Guitar Center is very heavily male populated.
I see.
That's the nicest way.
Having gone to many Guitar Centers many times,
Schmishmar.
I don't
please.
recall seeing very many girls in any of them.
No.
It's mostly
Except for at the door, they check in your gear.
Wow.
check your gear.
The answer: ghillie suit. That was to take it back. If you want to scare kids,
Ghillie suit.
a ghillie suit. A ghillie suit, I believe, is you can get at an Army Navy store. That's
Yeah.
the thing where Creepshow. You know Creepshow? You know at the end when Stephen King, The Lonesome Death of Jody Verrill, when Stephen King is covered in the green moss?
Yeah.
And
then before he shoots his head
in the face. Army, Navy, Air Force, like whatever it is, it's the thing where you put it on and it's a suit that makes you look like grass.
Okay, so like the head to toe camouflage.
You could be the
gosh.
To Catch a Predator cop, the one that's like, I don't want to get fucking knocked down by
Chris
a giant
Hansen?
bush. I love Chris Hansen.
Have you seen the T-shirt that says Chris Hansen Sea Blocker? Me either. It's the best.
No, there was
Except it didn't say
want
Sea
that
Blocker.
shirt.
Yeah. It was all spelled out. Anyway,
sea blocker, like the sea.
Like-
No,
hand gesture made. Okay.
rhymes with
Oh my
things.
god.
No, I love that, but yeah, ooh, we should. We have enough shrubbery. It could
Yeah.
work.
I mean, it is so frightening.
Shrubbery.
It's always been my dream, and we've never done it. And we have a house. We get a fair amount of trick or treaters.
Last year, you thought you were going to get like 7,
Yeah,
and we got
tons. Because the year
tons.
before
You had
we
to fill
got
up the
nothing.
bowl.
But like the first year we moved, we've been in that house for about 6 years. And the first year we had a decent turnout. The next year we had a great turnout. Like we ran out of candy in an hour.
Word
And
spread.
we had a lot, and it was it was pretty fun. I mean, the kids we didn't.
Are you
get,
the weirdos in your neighborhood?
Probably, yeah. I think we're the most private on our block. We don't really fraternize with any of our neighbors because we don't like them.
I got to talk about my new
And-
neighbor.
Ooh.
Oh
Right.
yeah. But
Really?
I think we're the weird ones,
Yeah.
and we're that gay couple. So they're kind of like,
Wait, you're gay?
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't
Oh,
let
by
the
the way, I'm
kids eat the
outing myself
candy.
right now for all of you. What? And
Who's going to tell your boyfriend?
no, it's really funny. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna break the news to him. But no, I mean, like we had a kid come up to the door one day who's like selling something for a school fundraiser, and he's a kid that lives up the road, I think, because I recognize him. He hangs out with a bunch of the kids at the end of the road. And
What?
they kick cans, and I don't know.
From the
there's like a
30s?
whole. There's like a whole.
Swell.
They're going to go poke a
can't
dead
drive.
body later.
But he comes up, and it was really funny. I mean, he seems like a nice kid. He comes up to the door, and as I'm listening to him do his spiel, I lean accidentally on the doorbell, and so Joshua comes to the door thinking I've locked myself out on the porch or something, and opens the door. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and whatever. And the kid sees all this, and when Joshua goes back inside, he kind of looks at me in this very conspiratorial tone, and goes, "Is that your boyfriend?"
Oh.
And I immediately go, "Why are you asking that?" Like I'm immediately like, "Why is that the first thing? Like, you could be anything."
I'm a very private person.
And I'm like, why are you asking that? And he and the kid, I guess I put too mean of a face on it because he instantly kind of goes, no, I don't have a problem. I love the gays.
Oh.
I love you guys.
And he said something like,
Hope to be one
so-and-so
someday.
up the street told me about you guys. I'm like, who? And I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. They're talking about us. Because it's not
funny?
like we go frolicking through the sprinklers
No,
or
but
something.
because
You
you're so
flounce about-
private,
No, we
I
don't.
think that's what it is because you're so private, they just start creating shit for
Oh,
you.
they do.
And it's
They do.
worse.
They
Whatever,
do.
like whatever they're thinking in their head, it's like filling in the blanks to the non sequitur, like filthy joke. It's like, oh man, what I thought in my head is like 1,000 times worse than what it
Yeah.
really is.
I'm
By the
pretty
way,
sure, yeah.
What candy? I have to know because I'll wear a ghillie suit and go to your house and get some candy. What candy do you offer?
Because everybody's
We
got
give out-
candy that they have to give. Because if you give fucking
If you give me
jawbreakers and
candy
shit,
corn,
I'm-
I
I
know
like
like
some
that.
people
I
What's,
love
like
okay,
to
what's
give-
the
I
one
like-
that's always in like the orange and black wrappers, like the wax paper ones? What are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
they're
Bronx?
like
Is it the
the
Bronx?
little toffee
Yes,
bits.
yes. No, not the toffee bits. The Brox.
Yeah.
thing.
I need
Okay.
chocolate.
Oh, like the little almost like Werther's or something like
Yeah.
that. They're just little
Like-
hard candies.
Old gum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
No,
the
see,
hard
I'll tell
thing.
you. As far as candy goes, I don't care for lollipops and like candy. I like chocolate.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I'll give out like M&Ms and Crunch bars and candy bars, stuff like that, because I'll like throw a few lollipops and stuff in there for the kids that like them. But we have a high. All trick or treaters know that we give out a lot of chocolate. In my house.
Word spread. That's why the first year and the second year, boom, everybody showed up because they knew you had the good stuff.
Coolest
What about you,
costume
Casey?
ever.
I don't have a house where I don't pass out candy.
Well, you
but
can
I do
come over to
enjoy-
our house for Halloween and help us so you can partake. It's fun.
Fantastic. Well,
We had a kid.
I'm not homeless, by the way, but
we had a kid.
that's what
I
it
do
says.
have a home.
We had a kid
When
show
you're
up. I got to
sleeping
tell
in
this
your
real quick. My
car.
favorite like Halloween costume ever, because we get a good ratio of kids that are like way too old to be trick or treating, and this is just their
Yeah.
way to get candy for free.
That's- yeah.
And so they'll show up without a costume whatsoever.
My mom
that,
would
just
never
showed
give
up.
them candy, and I'm like, you are going to get.
Oh, I won't. I'll be like, what are you supposed to be? Like, I'm a teenager. I'm like, who's not getting any candy?
Door.
Yeah. And then I have to keep like, vigil all night to make sure that my car doesn't get egged, which it has been a couple of times. But this one little kid, I mean, he wasn't even really old enough to be trick-or-treating by himself because his parents were with him and it was still light outside. He was like the first trick-or-treater we got like several years ago. He was maybe 4 years old.
The kids that are too young for the night trick-or-treating.
Yeah, and so his parents are like, it's this sweet couple taking him up and down the street to all the houses, and he comes up to ours, and I'm like, hey, how you doing, kiddo? And he's wearing what looks like just tied to his neck like a piece of yarn. He's wearing like a sandwich board, but not but like in front of him, like it's not on either side. It's just like he's got like two pieces of what looks like blank poster board just hanging in front of him, they're covering him from neck to
what is he, an equal
shin. And I'm like, what is, and I kind of, but he's sitting there and I'm like, well, maybe this is, whatever. Maybe he went as a billboard or something.
Maybe it's one of those that you have to like ask, what are you?
And I was like, and I did have to ask.
Which
and I'm
is
like,
clever at that age.
I was like, what are you supposed to be? And he kind of looks back at his parents because he's even too afraid to say trick or treat. And his parents go, tell him what, show him. And he lifts up one of the pieces of cardboard, and it's hinged on the other one. And he lifts it up. He's a flip phone. And so on the inside, there's a screen, and there's like buttons and everything. And it was really clever. And they made it all from scratch. And I was like, oh my God, here. And I'm like, here you go. Like dip in, like get whatever you want out of this thing. And he was like so thrilled.
Those are the coolest houses as a kid, is when they just like show you the bowl, and you go, I could. Oh.
That's the rule in my house. See, like normally I'll give like 2 or 3 pieces of candy depending on how many kids are up there and how much I've got left. There's like a 2 or 3 piece, maximum that I'll give kids. But if it's like a really, really awesome costume that they made themselves, and I can see that they're really proud of it, I'm like, just get what you want. Just take as much.
Or if it's the end of the night and I know if I keep it.
The sweet little 4-year-old kid with a flip phone, and his parents are looking lovingly up, and you go, what are you supposed to be? He opens the flip phone, and you go, here, kid, take whatever you want. He's like, with your boyfriend. Shut up! You don't know me. I'm private.
Why would you ask that? You little fucking flip phone.
I am. I'm like, and
4-year-old.
I'm pretty sure all the kids in our neighborhood that I'm like the frost giant from the Oscar Wilde tale. I'm just like, get off my land, Because we have a neighbor whose kid is, he's a sweet kid, but I've yelled at him many times because he's an idiot and he does stupid things, and I just have to yell at him to keep him from hurting himself. I'm like, get down out of the tree, get out, do this. Whatever.
Old man Tatum's gonna yell at you.
He was like a couple weeks ago, and he's growing up, thank God, but
as opposed to
just like staying the same.
He's actually getting
don't keep
younger.
him in Tupperware. But he will say the most scathing things in his childlike way that cracks me up. Like we had friends over the night before and they left like 1 o'clock in the morning or so. And then the next day, this little kid's out front. He's like, did y'all have a party last night? We're like, no, we had a couple people over. Well, it was really loud and it was hard for me to go to sleep. And I'm just like going, shut up. I'm glad. Just take a pill or something.
I don't know.
This story has a very... The ending is just you going, shut up, kid. I pay for this
all
house.
All of your neighbor stories. Shut up. What?
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry. What were you going to say? Shut up.
We had a soiree, kid. Shut up.
No, I was in the
middle. We had a salon.
Okay, I love organizing. I'm obsessed with organization. I'm not sure if you've realized this. Being in like my booth as a director, it's like,
No,
yeah, you can touch that pen, and then like I straighten it the second you put it down.
Purell.
Yeah. But well, like when someone was sick, like you were about to come in right after them, I'm like, no, and I'm like, shh.
Wait.
Joe's like, do you want me to do that? I'm like, no, I got it.
Gotta get out the AIDS spray.
The what?
If you've seen it, next time you're in, look at whatever that industrial like disinfectant they use. It's good stuff. It's like some generic janitorial brand. If you read all the things it kills and prevents, one of them is the AIDS virus.
Wow,
that's what it says. It's
wow,
that can is like $15.
Damn,
that's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't.
Ask any janitor.
Do you know what janitor with AIDS? Exactly. Of course not.
That was Gino pointed out to me one day. He's like, this shit cures AIDS. I'm like, I'm sure it doesn't cure AIDS. I'm sure it just prevents you from
I'm
getting
pretty sure there would be a lot of poison.
It's really funny though. But yeah,
but no. What I was, Steven.
I'm not making this up. That's what's
okay.
okay. You'll have to look next time. Sorry, go on.
But no, Steven he came home from work early and I had the day off, so I was organizing my DVDs. I was very excited.
Another day in paradise.
Yeah.
We're gonna
No,
organize.
seriously, that's fun for me. I'm fucked up, man.
Transformers. Shell.
Organize.
But in the middle, I decided to watch Rin while I was organizing.
Of course.
And then I hear Steven talking in the fucking garage while he was doing oil changes or something. And then he goes, "Hey, Terry," and I'm like, "There's somebody with him." And I didn't think about what I was watching, which is episode 2 of Rin, with a very intimate sex scene between Colleen Klinkenbeard as Rin and Wendy Powell as Informant 1.
But wait, those are 2 girls.
That couldn't
How
be
does
sex
that
they're
work?
having.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, no, the
That's
whole
some
time
freaky form of the Heimlich.
it was before the scene that she's like, "Well, I'm Carol, and I knew the people that lived here before," and I was just
no.
like, "Don't move, blah blah blah." Like, did you grow up here? I'm like, for the most part, and like, so you took Texas history. I'm like, oh, this is so boring. I am bored in my mind.
She was going to quiz you about Texas history?
No, she was. She's like,
Did
well,
you use one of our indigenous textbooks? Because
I taught Texas history for about 31 years. I retired. My husband's name was Steve, and he passed away in '92. Bless his heart.
But always.
And then suddenly just on the screen and all that stuff, and then I didn't realize it because I directed the show. I've tuned
you're
it
so
out.
new to it. You're like, oh, does that freak you out? I'm so sorry.
And then she's and I'm standing in front of the TV, so there's anime lady sex going on, and she left.
That'll do it. She'll never come
Really
back.
funny.
No, and I'm just like,
Or she'll come back all the time just
With
to
the
see
cops.
what's on.
Do you know
Or,
about the
or dressed
blue
a little
bonnet?
more skimpily.
it's not
every
really
time.
hentai, I promise, or whatever the official term for lady on lady.
I don't
anime
know
is.
about hentai.
I think hentai I think it falls under the hentai category. I think hentai is kind of a catch-all. isn't it?
Yuri.
That's right.
No,
That's
not.
as I
I think
understood
I'm
it.
not, I'm
I
by
don't
no
know.
means an
I don't
expert,
know.
but
Please do not send me emails and correct me. I don't want to know. Please don't.
now you've done it.
Yeah. But if you like Rin, though, thank you. But
I love that. I taught Texas history for 31 years. Really? Like, she just
Really?
wanted to launch into that? Like,
okay, so you taught 7th graders and 8th graders. No one remembers you when they graduate.
wow.
They
That-
might remember.
No,
They might remember the sugar cube model of the Alamo they had to make to pass.
You
It's
had to make a
delicious.
sugar cube.
What? Am I unique? Did no one else have to?
No,
do
the only
that?
thing my Texas
No.
history teacher did is he came dressed as a Confederate, and he taught as a member of the Confederate Army.
I'll say. They do
I
that.
say,
And so all of us of color were like, "Holy shit!"
I love it.
This
Oh
is
my god!
I'm a woman of color. I love it. All of us of color were traumatized.
Lincoln ain't my president. I say.
I'll say. There are rules.
Okay, of
No
color.
taxation without representation.
And you
Wait,
beat
that's
them
the
all.
wrong law.
People that aren't
We're gonna use it,
categorized
though.
as whites, does that matter?
We as non-whites were offended.
Us from not Caucasia.
Caucasia.
Caucasia. What a magical land.
Welcome to
Magical land of
Caucasia.
unicorns and
Bland
marshmallow
food.
pie and a lot of vanilla ice cream,
Mayonnaise. Lots of mayonnaise.
ranch
Crackers,
dressing,
mayonnaise. Delicious.
ranch
French
dressing,
fries with no salt.
Fanciful.
ketchup.
Catsup. So, yeah, anime and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably get to that topic at some point.
Well,
That anime. I love
now
that
we
we
talk
named
about-
it That
now we
Anime
talk
Show, and
about
we should just
you.
call it, maybe we'll get to it, maybe we won't.
Just hanging out show.
The Hanging Out Show.
Yeah.
The title is just our lure. We get
People were pretty
in.
psyched when we announced that you're going to be on the show.
Oh, awesome.
Believe it or
would.
not, I
Psyched
don't know
to-
why.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm psyched to be here. Is this the first one ever to be in your new
Mm-hmm.
digs,
Yes, you are christening.
so to speak?
The new studio.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well,
Chris Burnett, we recorded at a friend's studio just because we weren't set up yet. But
Okay.
yeah.
They were in the process of moving.
well, you guys can't see it, but they have a really awesome place.
Please, I don't want them ever to be like, oh yeah, no, I've seen it.
I'm outside the window. I can see everything.
That's what those kids are out there. Okay, I was just wondering.
You work out a lot, Terry. Whoa.
Nice
thank
definition,
you.
Terry. I like your tattoo. Like, no, I.
I didn't realize you were left-handed. Yeah, that's
Whoa.
oh.
When did you start learning calligraphy? I just started getting more random.
What do you think of Farscape? Like they just like what?
This is
You've
pretty
been
much how
watching
it
lately,
gets.
haven't
I mean,
you?
it's been a while since you and I have had like a major chat session. Like we ran into each other at one of McFarlane's open mics, which is really neat. But
that was cool.
You were with a bunch of people you didn't know, so you're like, Terri and Steven! Oh, hey, we can sit here. I was like, yes, you should sit here.
Oh, that was yeah. I'm really, boy, am I glad you two showed up. Oh boy, yeah. And Mike was great, but yeah, it was a little. Our particular table was a little disconcerting, but I'm glad that we all enjoyed ourselves in the end. Of course, I ended up being. I had to leave, actually, so I missed the very last 5 songs, but it was...
Yeah,
it was
like,
awesome.
as we were leaving, Mike's like, I'm almost done. I'm like, I don't care. I'm so tired. I love you, but I'm so tired.
I want to go bye-bye. Yeah.
But no, a lot of when I was interning, the first few weeks of it, we're sitting in with you, and we had met previously, I think me doing a couple of bits for something, and...
It was Lollipop.
Yeah. But I'm kidding. No, you were
absolutely no idea.
I was going to say...
I'm like, shut up.
Oh.
Hey, we had a ball.
You made-
though.
It
We
was
had
fun.
a ball.
You made the
didn't
Chuck
we?
E. Cheese analogy before. It was like, battle scarred.
But no,
We had fun.
We had a ball.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
a ball
it was a fun
Lollipop.
show because we did a lot of outtakes. I don't think we actually kept it.
No, 'cause they were
that
filthy.
I did.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They were
'cause they were-
filthy.
I was supposed to just do a couple of maybe 2-3 lines all together, but I was booked for an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't think we really did anything.
We kept it very professional and talked
And that's
for
how we
about
first
50
met.
minutes.
That's how I met Will. And no, I met you while you were stretching, to stretch your legs and your arms. And I made some random joke. You're like, oh, that's how it's gonna be. All right.
What? That doesn't sound like me. So
You were doing wall push-ups.
Oh yeah, I was doing my pre-session wall
And I'm
push-ups.
like, so
Sure.
wall
Your
push-ups.
calisthenics.
Yeah, before I record as a not director but as a voice actor, I like to do some squat thrusts. I like to do my Kegels, obviously, as I'm doing now, and I like to really get ready to go. And so that's I like to keep fit, obviously. Yeah, sure.
And lift 'em up.
And 87. I just like to keep ready.
No, it'd be funny
Or
if you
is
were
it
just with a
Kegel?
bunch of people and you're like, and 100.
What? Nothing.
Dude, you haven't said anything in the past 20 minutes. What have you been doing? Nothing. Just
Concentrating.
thinking about this book I read.
And what page I was on.
And relax. Yeah. That's true. And yeah, so you sat in for
I sat in
quite
for
some
you,
time.
but a lot of our, because by the time we were done for the day, you were done for the day, and it turned into oh, it's been 2 hours since I have been able to go home.
a bit able to go.
Yeah, no,
I
because
live
we
close.
just
I live close.
we just end up chatting for too long. You're like, oh, what time is it? What is it? It is 8:30.
Well, I felt special. I felt special because you allowed me into your secret binder.
I still have it.
Oh, I'd love to read that again because
I
I'd
still
love
have my intern
cover to
notes.
cover.
The secret
And
binder.
Chris Cason is the only one to have ever read my notes. Or no, actually, I think I read it to him freaking scripture. I'm like, and on September 13th at 11. No, I dated the time and everything.
It was really because she had kind of an objective opinion because she would go from studio to studio, seeing how everybody did their thing, and so she had a very unbiased and warts and all opinion of everything. And it was great. I mean, it was really interesting. So
You're like,
I'd love to-
really? He does that?
I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, well, that's grounds for dismissal. All right.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I was only working with Bevins and Tatum, and then eventually just Bevins, so I stopped taking notes once they set me in with Bevins. month 3, nothing new to report.
Right. Cold, still here, shivering,
Still cold.
dark.
No, and you were recording Cause No Stigma.
Yeah. Oh,
Rob
yeah.
McCullum. That's how I met Rob and Jeremy. Everything.
Yeah, that was a fun show, and I remember those days very well.
Yes.
There we are, and there you are, they're taking little notes to the point
But
where
I was never introduced, so the actors are like, okay.
she's here. She's here to audit. There may be some credit issues and some taxes. Yeah, I mean,
She's here
cool.
to serve you a summons, but we're going to wait till after your session.
Yeah, so act good. What? And
Yes,
go
I'm
on.
an intern, and you've been served. All right.
You got served. Strong.
Okay, but I digress.
We have questions.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes,
okay.
so
Questions for you, sir.
I am ready.
Questions for you. We apparently the chat is just happened. So
I can see that.
Well,
I would be on the chat.
We
room
have
right
requests,
Now for you if
we
I
have
wasn't here in front of the mic. I would be like, "Ooh, I want to ask you something."
I'm ready.
Oh wait, I can't.
It's like it was Chuck E. Cheese.
all right, this is from Rick Cole, and it's a comment. At first, I just want to say, Chris, you're awesome.
Well, thanks. What's his name?
I'll
Rick.
Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Cool. He's a really cool guy.
I'll admit,
Yeah.
he started the
Across the
Terri
pond.
Doty Appreciation
right.
Society.
Yes, he did.
I love the name of that. It's so English.
What is it again?
The Terri Doty Appreciation Society.
Fantastic.
But appreciation. But I'll admit, I haven't seen much of your work, but what I have seen, I really enjoyed. I hope to see more of your work.
That's all that matters to me.
You should do it. List off some shit like immediately. You should see the
Micro machine. Brrr.
And he's British, so you know he knows class.
That's true.
He sees
Yes.
it. It's like in their blood.
What? And I suppose this is to you as well. So I gave a little bit of Rick, and now a little bit of Jack Cox.
A little bit of Rick.
No.
love it?
Okay, it's something that it's been out, or it's at least been released. A few videos have shown.
Studies have shown.
Studies have shown. No, a few videos are up. I'm not sure if it's out yet, but Initial D, what you think? Fumihiro.
Fumihiro.
Yes.
What was the question? What do you think?
What you think? What's it like working on Initial D, Tatum and Chris?
So far, so great. I've directed
You direct
10 episodes of it.
the stage 4.
Four in stage 4 and 6 in stage 2, and I'm Fumihiro.
Can we talk about stage 2 yet?
I don't know.
Steven, can we talk about stage 2 yet? Okay. I just want to make sure because we'll cut it out.
Will that be included too? Oh man, that was so.
No.
God, can we?
That is a little.
Are you there?
Yeah?
It's me, Margaret.
It's like,
That's a horrible reference. It's about like, please let me start my period book. That's what God, are you there? It's me, Margaret. That's what that book is.
about?
Yes.
that's what that is.
I had
really?
no idea. I thought
Yeah.
she was just contemplating suicide because of like out of wedlock
No.
pregnancy.
God is me,
Hi, God,
Margaret.
are you
Where
there?
are you?
It's me, Margaret.
I'm coming to you.
No, I forget.
God,
It's
are you
either
there?
like that she started it and doesn't want it, or she's one of those stupid girls that was late and wanted to start it immediately. So she prayed to the
I like
gods.
the choice.
She prayed to the gods of Mensis.
The multiple gods of menstruation.
Dear gods and Menzies. Okay, stop shouting!
Your wish is granted. I can't stop. Shut up. Am I dying? Shut the fuck up. Okay. My mommy won't tell me anything, and I think I'm shut up. The gods of menstruation are awful. You never. That's terrible.
Well, that's why
They
I
only
guess having a
work 2-3
period
days a
sucks.
month. Yeah.
It's not the god. It's not the gods of childbirth are benevolent, wonderful gods, but the gods of menstruations are
The
all.
gods of childbirth.
The childbirth, yeah. We're gonna
they're
make
all
this
hot.
as painless as possible for you.
I have some ice chips. That's worth it. That's a good trade. I want to push this out of my nose and I'm going to eat some ice chips.
To periods.
Stream.
So I
of
learned a lot.
consciousness.
I learned a lot. I've learned a lot about cars.
No, you haven't.
On Initial D. Yes, I have.
You really-
I really have. I have more than I ever thought I would.
Like, speaking of menstruation, cars.
Well, because I had to write. I wrote several episodes too.
Of course, that's right.
You know, a few. And of course, playing Ryosuke, who has the most car-oriented dialogue. It's like all he talks about. He's obsessive compulsive. I'm convinced of this.
Yeah, this
and
guy
he's always
never-
got to talk about, you know, the car's doing this, and you know, and he knows cars up from like top to bottom. And I discovered things about my own car that I'm like, I never thought about that, but that
Dude.
does make total sense.
Do you remember what we did after Joel's show? We drove home listening
He
to
drove.
Initial D music, and so he was Ryosuke the whole time. He was in the backseat. He's like, "All right, see up here, you're gonna
no.
want to make a left."
And we come to the downhill here like this. The grip on those tires is going to start
And
giving
Steven's
way to
just
go
like,
at speed
"Shut
because the weight of the car is going to work
because
against
we
you.
always make Steven drive. I don't know why we always make Steven drive, but
Because he's the responsible one. The rest
He's
of
the one
us
who's
are
not
like,
drunk.
woo! Let's listen to Initial D music and act like we're in the show. And yeah.
But
It's
we were
very
trying
much-
to look for this one song that starts like forever. That's horrible. But
Forever, and we couldn't find it because there's like 1,000 tracks on that damn thing that
Yeah.
you found. It was
But-
like, oh my god, there's so much music in the show.
Very upbeat music.
But it's a fun show.
I don't know why
and it's a
I
fun
have all
show.
the-
and,
but,
and even
yeah.
if like I found myself personally, and this is true, you as well, Kason, that even if it's something you're not into, because I'd be perfectly honest with you, I am not a car person. I know I don't
Are
care
you?
for cars. I don't care for racing. I just it's just not my scene.
no, not
And
at all.
but watching that show, you get kind of sucked in. And you're like, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh, that's awesome! And you do. You kind of, despite myself, I got interested in the show just because I'm like, okay, come on,
Well, you would have
kick
to.
his ass. You know,
You would have to, as a writer.
Yeah,
I've written a couple of episodes that aren't available yet.
But
A couple of episodes that aren't available, and luckily I had Steve, and I'm like, okay, so this means, he's like, it means whenever KSK goes downhill, and I'm like, what? What? How many girls write for this show? He's like, none. I'm like, there's a reason.
There's definitely it's zen in the art of race car driving. Like there's a lot of philosophy that goes behind.
There is.
Yeah, it's pretty. It is really fascinating. Like it gave me an appreciation for, though I'm not a big car dude. And in fact, if you were to, you can't really throw a rock at Funimation and find car dudes. Like good luck, because there's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not. I don't know
Now,
what that says.
audiophiles you can find a ton
yeah.
of up there.
So they just bug Steven.
Exactly.
Hey dude, you busy? Yes. Oh, okay, just real quick.
This land Evo, is that? Yeah, a lot of questions like that.
What is this? It's the name of the car.
Okay.
Dude.
What is this? It's a car. Oh, right. Yeah, I love it here. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I've heard of the Honda. Okay.
Okay.
Mitsubishi.
And they come in different colors. Okay, that's weird. But so it's if it's gray, it's still a Honda.
So if the car goes,
That's like me when I'm asked. So, okay, so really, it's
if the car goes faster than the other car, Takami's probably going to pull this one out. Yes. Cool. Okay. Fingers crossed.
okay. Well, that brings me. This is a good segue into Tara's question.
Tara Caraway.
Tara, who's awesome.
I had to say it there.
Her and her sisters.
Tara Caraway.
Their recent pictures have been hilarious. I love the one where you're eating my
Caraway.
head.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I'm like, that's totally happened.
And that was a joint effort of theirs, didn't they? I think they did it together.
I don't know, because
I think they did together.
I always
unless
refer
could
to
be
it
wrong.
as a Caraway creation because I love both.
A Caraway production. Okay, but Tara asks, do you ever find yourself making references to characters you played or to shows or whatever in day-to-day life? Like, do you ever find yourself... and by references, I'm sure she means, like, do you ever find yourself conjuring up, say, aspects of characters you've played or shows you've worked on to deal with real-life situations?
Well, everyone has addictions. Mine, I enjoy a bit of the mistress we call food. I do enjoy a bit of the
Mistress we
It's a-
call...
It's a good mistress.
Well, she's always there for you. She doesn't talk back. I've lost 30.
Doesn't talk back.
Sometimes she does the next day. See, I'm Pepperidge Farm guy again, apparently. But now.
Is that a character? Is it how it should be?
No, it's like, it's worse than that. It's actually me. No, just kidding. So yeah, I recently lost a good amount of weight. I'm still going, but yeah, there have been times when actually I've been at cons and I'm eating copious amounts of gravy and food, and yeah, someone will usually one of the con staffers will be like, "Wow,
I love how you say
someone's big."
gravy and food, like they're not in a class together at
Dude,
all.
it's
Like,
so
there's
much
gravy
better.
and there's everything else that's edible.
There I'm eating, and sometimes I get a little good-natured rib in the elbows, like, elbow in the rib, and they'll be like,
Rib in the elbows.
my elbows.
You're just a sloppy eater.
Yeah, it's terrible. My shirt
do
is covered
that?
in mustard stains. Yeah, they're just kind of like, well, would you say you're being gluttonous?
No, and then you get very cold. No, shut up.
I'm being me. And I just go back to unblinkingly
I actually
eating.
didn't know that we were recording any of that. I didn't even realize I was gluttony till it was on TV.
That's right. It was outside the booth. But so yeah, every once in a while, but not. No, I guess not too often. But those little times make it. That didn't work out. What am I supposed to say after that? Those little times make it all big. That was stupid. I got nothing.
Make it all big.
Big.
All right,
Yeah.
so we got a little bit from Mr. Steve Yerko, unofficial One Piece podcast.
I always
Look
do that
it up,
with Steve.
Steve.
Steve is awesome. I love Steve.
We should all say Steve.
We
Count
should.
of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Steve!
Why did you hear the waves?
Yeah. Oh, we should totally do that now. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Guys,
Fucking groundbreaking here.
I feel like I'm stupider. We're underwater. We were all saying Steve underwater. Or is it more stupid? I don't know.
Or the snort.
Steve Yurko. All right. What is the extent of your work as a director on One Piece?
Absolutely nil.
Okay,
the answer is I've never directed One Piece.
All right, and also you were awesome as Satori in One Piece, despite
Kotori.
despite him being very annoying.
No question. He's very annoying.
You're just good at being annoying.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, I didn't just ad-lib it.
Not that you couldn't, but well, I think this
I
interview.
am clever and quick.
This interview is proving that yes, those traits extend past.
I think he was talking about the character.
All right, I was good-natured ribbing. What? Ribs? I got some ribs to the elbows.
You got some ribs to the elbow.
I'm just covered in swat.
Dude, seriously, he came at me ribs first. It was very odd.
It's like a zombie.
Covered in barbecue sauce. That's all right.
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue. I got my baby.
Donna B
Donna B.
asks, do you find yourself using your anime voices outside of the studio?
That's kind of that reminds me a little bit of.
And I guess that's to any of us, but I'm directing it to you, Casey.
I see. No, because my interest in life is to minimize the annoying factor. So if most of the characters are either monsters or annoying or high pitched creatures, or I mean, the only one I could say definitively would be Fumihiro, because that's my own speaking. Like,
True.
I mean, it sounds like me talking now, which, by the way, is sort of uncomfortable for me. I'm used to sort of. I wouldn't go as far as to say hiding behind, but I feel more comfortable using character voices. So to do my own voice talking is very strange for me. So that was it's very different. But so
It
yeah,
is.
Fumihiro and Initial D, totally my own voice, and I use it. I'm using it right now.
Well, I haven't heard much of the show complete. No, I did. I watched a lot of the fourth stage already. The second it became available,
Yeah.
I found it, and so yes, it was fun.
Yes.
I can't wait to see more. Because it's changed dramatically from because I watched the first season first and then jumped all the way to 4. And I'm like, whoa, what?
Oh, yeah.
Ryosuke's
Yeah, the
hair-
show changes everything. I mean, because there's so many. I don't
Your
know
hair
how
is
many-
purple now. Kid's face is blonde.
Yeah, it's like how much time has elapsed? Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
it seems like a lot more than it
So
probably
you
is.
find for the most part you don't use like any character voices that you've done. You don't use them outside, in real life.
No,
Even though-
maybe to make a point or make a joke here and there, but in general,
but
no.
you never. Okay.
Well, there's the show that cannot be named. You're pretty much doing your voice. The last one that we worked on together that we can't talk about yet.
Oh yes, yes.
We talk about it that way. That's the way we get away with it.
Yes.
What? Can you
There's
mouth
the
it?
show.
Yeah, blah la 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 la.
Oh yes, yes.
I even covered the mic just so my mouth noise wouldn't come
That's
through.
why I was like blah la 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 la.
She was like,
some really shrewd fan is going to be able to take those squishies and be like, oh my god, she said this.
I don't know.
I knew it.
We got fucking engineers that listen. Who knows? I don't
true.
know. Technology, it scares me.
Technology is
But,
a terrifying.
No, there's
thing.
that one that you did a couple of bits for Rin, and you're hey there, Rin, baby,
yeah,
and I find that so funny. And you were a doctor that she strangled in like episode 3.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, that's Cason.
That's me.
You can totally tell it's Cason.
So you
baby.
find, but you brought up the difficulties of kind of using your own voice or not having the sort of character voice to use to kind of buttress you, as it were, when you're performing, which it totally is easier when we're doing a wild and crazy voice, because I've done my share of those too. And it is, I've never thought about it before, but you're right, it is easier to kind of do the big stuff, I suppose, because...
Almost freeing. There's in school. Let's see, what is it? I guess through high school, through college, through whatever. Like there's a lot of in acting classes. There's a lot of mask work that's done. Where the idea is that when you put on the mask, your inhibitions go away because it's no longer you, and you're free to create and be something other. And I think doing these character voices is a good. That's an example of that. So,
Yes.
Now, let me ask you, just kind of staying on that same subject though, because I'm fascinated by this. When you're having to use your everyday voice, the voice we're hearing right now, what
It's not his real voice.
It's not your voice.
It's a mask.
What sort of things do you have to do to get through it? I mean, to get through the session, because I totally understand what you're saying, and when you do have to, I find myself, for example, when I have to do like the really big characters, or the characters have crazy voices. They not that they only have one note to play, but you have playing the bigger crazy characters. Just mentally, there's less options available to you as to how to read a line. Because you're like, well, this character's going to be screaming this line, so there's only a few ways you can say this and read it, so there you go. But when you have to do this kind of relaxed, normal, everyday speaking voice, or something that's like a line that's far more just ambivalent emotionally, there's more. I guess you have more of a chance to make a mistake or make a bad choice with the read because you're having to do it quote unquote naturally. So what kind of things do you have? What kind of goes through your head? Do you have anything that you kind of prep work you do, anything like that helps you get through it better? Because that is quite a change to have to make.
Well, I think that I'm more critical of. I mean, everyone's their own worst critic, of course. When you leave you leave a studio, you think like, I could have done that better. Or when you see the final product, you think, I could have done that. And I think I'm even more critical when I use my own voice than other characters for whatever reason. But that's my own thing.
I do that too. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's nice to know because you have a lot more experience than I do, and knowing that you're still very insecure about it's actually a little comforting. Believe it or not, I don't know. I'm crazy.
That's part of acting is to be insecure. Yeah. I kind of consider that. I think
that's
part
why
of
a lot
your
of us are
job.
actors. I suck being me.
Well,
no.
Well, you may be onto something there. I mean, it is.
No, Terry. There's only one. There's only one Terry.
Aww.
But that's actually a point where they say, in the entertainment business in general, you have to be thick-skinned. You hear the term thick-skinned a lot because, of course, you're going up for auditions all the time, and you're constantly being rejected. But really, I mean, not to be too philosophical here, but sorry,
right.
There's no cars, but it's not initial D. But it's kind of like really as a performer of any kind, you actually are very thin-skinned because when you put yourself out there and give it your all and you make yourself vulnerable, you open yourself up to criticism. And so you have to be of quality, quote unquote, you have to put everything out there every time. And so when you do, you open yourself up for that, but you have to do that.
And don't you find too that being thin-skinned on that level? I mean, you have no choice. You can't help it. It's just all of our natural response to being rejected. It sucks being rejected. It sucks being judged constantly, and you always are.
But it's 99% of acting.
Yeah.
It's totally true. But I think that rather than try to work towards being thick-skinned, which a lot of people are given that advice as actors, you have to develop a thick skin. I think what's meant by that is you're meant to develop a thick skin with regards to rejection and things like that. But internally, you have to be thin-skinned because as an actor, you have to be able to let in a lot of stuff. Right. You can't be so armored that you don't listen because so many of your performances comes from experiences. Unless if you can't feel anything, if you've armored yourself up so, if you've just kind of, armor-plated yourself emotionally so much, you can't perform. And there are people, I'm sure, that not that I know of in particular, but just I'm sure theoretically must exist actors who find it difficult to give a performance of any emotional depth because they're so guarded against being judged and armored that it makes their performance very wooden, very stiff, and
very vanilla.
Very vanilla. Yeah,
vanilla.
And it's
back to food.
Yeah. So it's weird, but finding that balance of just that skin, that you have to be thin enough to where you still, you're not going to freeze to death, as it were. You still have a layer of skin
in the cold,
as it were,
sea of rejection.
But it can't be, but it has to be, sturdy enough to keep your insides together.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
I never thought about it that way, but that's interesting.
But you need skin.
You do need skin.
It's the largest organ of the human body.
It's true.
You need skin, but if it's too thick, you suffocate yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
How's that for homespun philosophy?
Wrapping it up.
Going back to Rick Cole, he had a question as well as a comment that I already expressed earlier.
Okay.
Now this is a question pretty much for all of us. Since you all ADR direct as well as voice act, how do you think one affects the other? And do you think they impact positively on each other? So basically, how does working on one side of the glass help you work on the other? Good question.
It's a very well put question.
It absolutely.
And it's Rick, so I'm in no way shocked by that awesome question.
That's true.
It absolutely one affects the other, and in a positive way.
Yeah.
I think I think your ADR directing affects positively your voice work because you know more what you become more aware. You see, first of all, you get the benefit of seeing all the actors coming in every day because as an actor, you go in. You see the engineer and the director, you leave. But here as a director, you see, maybe 7 people a day or whatever every day, different people.
Yeah, on a quick day or it's like, all right, I'm going to be with you for 8 hours. We're going to do this. We're going to fucking do this.
It's going to be like a camping trip.
I mean, you really do, you see different people's techniques. You learn from other people. You're able to see what works, what doesn't work. So I think it affects positively your acting.
I agree. I'd say that I'm much more comfortable in front of the microphone because I started doing Walla before I interned. I think I'm much better now.
With all actors, Walla? That's what it stands for?
Actors,
All
yes.
actors.
But when I direct myself, I think I rely too much on my engineer. I'll say that. Because I'm just like, okay, because I'm going to hear it, but because it's me, I feel that I'm incredibly too critical of myself. So the show, like one of the shows that we worked on, I'm just like, just tell me now. I will recast right now. Tell me now. You're fine. I'm like, no, go get somebody else. Go get somebody else. I made him go get somebody else. And then Tatum walked in and I made him listen to it. I'm like, go get.
And I was like, oh yeah, get somebody else. No.
Was it that show?
It would be great if that's how it's actually pronounced. But you bring that up, and I think it's really interesting to me that I consider directing to be another kind of acting job. I mean, it really is. And by that, when I say I think the best directors are actors, I don't mean that like you have to be an actor to be a director, because that's certainly not true. But just sitting in that chair and being a director is a gig. It's an acting gig. I mean, because the director performs.
There's a level of diplomacy, certainly. First of all,
yeah. There's that. You have to be able to, and you have to, and a director improvises a great deal too, because your technique, I find, changes depending on who you've got in the booth.
Oh yeah.
Who you're working with, because some actors, you've known them forever, and you're like, oh, I can just kind of, I can take a nap, and you totally know what I want, And other actors,
I will
come
never
in,
do
they're
that.
brand new.
I wish I could.
No.
I'm entirely too critical.
But in
goes to
theory,
the left.
there are always a few actors you can be like, I'm just gonna while you act, but but every actor has their own style, their own insecurities that you have to either exploit to get them to sometimes that's part of your job. Sometimes is to trick actors into the read that
a little hot coffee in the
they didn't
face.
think
It's
themselves
parenting.
capable of.
Sure.
Yeah. And but yeah, I find that
Okay,
of course
today you're
that they affect
17
one or
years
the other.
old. You can go out and buy cigarettes or whatever.
I think I'm a better actor for having directed, and I'm a better director for having acted, and I'm a better writer for having done all of it. It's really, they all really do inform the
How long
other.
have you been writing?
I think I've been writing for 3 years now. And pretty consistently. So I've been fortunate in that I've always had the work, which is good because writing
That's good
especially
that
is
you-
something you can kind of
You
get
didn't
bad
start
at if you
writing.
stay out of practice.
Hello,
Yeah.
hit the mic. It's good that you didn't start writing and then go into it.
No, it would have been really difficult to start writing because until you've been in the booth and see how everything works technically and what makes a good line, what makes a not so good line, not on a purely technical level. Until you're in the booth, you really don't know what that is. But yeah, it's funny to me. Like for me, every one of those jobs is kind of part of they're on the same spectrum of skills, and they're very, very, they're so
Layers
closely related.
of the onion.
Yeah, they're so closely related that I really find no difference. I mean, I think it's all of it is a kind of acting, is a kind of theater, if you like, and it's just I don't know. But yeah, definitely, your acting improves and your directing improves for having done both.
It's a fascinating part of ADR, directing in general, which is to know what
just
each
ADR
person, what just ADR directing, what each person needs, because it's fascinating to find out what they need. Then when you learn that, it really, obviously, it moves things along much more quickly. But yeah, just because you can't direct the same. You can't direct two people the same way, and it's really fascinating to find out. And of course, Funimation, we get new people coming in, and so it's always a learning I mean, you're never like, okay, cool, I'm finished learning how to do it. Like, you're never finished. It's like a musical instrument. You're never
That was the weirdest
finished.
thing. I don't know about you guys, but like when you first started directing, I mean, obviously all of us, granted, I overdid it as far as training. Like what you guys each had, like how long was your training?
Well, I sub-directed a lot first.
Okay.
And I did that for maybe off and on for a couple of years probably before I did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I subbed for Dragon Ball, I subbed for Yu Yu Hakusho, and I subbed for Dragon Ball GT and some other stuff before I did my first thing, which was a DBZ movie. So that was the first thing.
But, and
I had like less than a week. Yeah.
And I had 4 months.
And I really had to, it was kind of it was just one of those rare things where I really had to hit the ground running, and it was a combination of my schedule, because I was leaving my old job and had to like tie things up there because I couldn't just leave them in the lurch. And so I was I was going up to the studio at night to watch Colleen and a couple other directors do their thing, and I had very little time. But I had been acting long enough at the time. Like, I think I've been acting for like 2 or 3 years at the time to kind of know everybody and know what was going on. But yeah, my training was really my first contract, was me kind of figuring out, oh, this is how this goes. And it was crazy. Like, I was terrified every second, and there are a lot of actors. I didn't get the show from the ground up. It was a show that had already, like, the first 9 episodes of it had been done. I was working on, and I was given the show, and I knew the show because I was in it at least. But I didn't know all the actors who were in it. I'd never worked with. There was 5 actors in that show I'd never worked with before.
As a new director, is working with an actor you didn't see while you were training or anything like that, or that just don't know you, so therefore they're not comfortable with you yet because they don't know your style. And I had
it's a double-edged sword, but getting to work with very experienced actors that know what they're doing. One, as a director, you know that you can, that you're not going to screw up, because this actor's not going to let you screw up as a director,
right? Because their name's in the credits,
and they're not going to steer you wrong if you just kind of let their instincts guide them, and you kind of take note and learn how to use that on the next actor. but the other side of that is this actor is going, oh, the new guy. And and it happened. It does. It totally happens. You can't help but do that. That's whether that's why when I say that's all part of the same bag of tricks. When you're a director and you're a writer and you're an actor, you're just as prone to rejection as anybody else is, because as an ADR director, you can. There's plenty of drama there, or potential for it, of course.
What are you talking about? Every day's fucking bag of rainbow kittens.
But that's why when you have these really great, intense sessions for whatever reason, and I don't mean intense like you can't get along with your cast, but I mean intense like like we did on the show, which was a very
horrible.
Yeah, no one's gonna buy it.
I can't wait till we can actually say the name, because then we'll actually be able to.
And you learned it.
That was a very intense experience.
You have these great what a director out there now that I love. We're working together on a show that I'm very excited about. Again, something I can't talk about, but
what?
he refers to it, and the engineer refers to it as when we have 8-hour days on this show, which I have a lot. It's like a camping trip, when it's all over and done with, we're like, man, it's like we just had an adventure, like we survived something.
Yeah.
This
what kind of camping trips do you go on? Because it's like, man, I don't want to see you fuckers for a while.
That's kind of what it's like after you have an 8-hour session. You're like, I love you, but I need some away time. It's the 3-day rule, of slumber parties in the middle of summer, like as a kid, like. Yeah, no, we're out. So you stay over the first night. Why not stay a second night? By the third night, you need to get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
You have been guests in our house long enough. It is time.
By the way, that's interesting. You were talking. How long did you say you had 4 months? And you say when you jumped into.
I had like 4 days.
You had 4 days. It just occurred to me. Because I said, a couple of years of subdirecting. I thought, what's a long time? Then I realized the reason I did it was because there was no director position open. I was just kind of doing it just cause, and that's probably, I guess that's one of the reasons why I was like, cool, I'll just do this until. There was no particular directing light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm just kind of glad that worked out. I didn't know
either. I was doing it for school credit. And then luckily after that, Bevins is like, I'm not sick of seeing you. You want to work? Yes.
That sounds like him.
Yeah.
I'm not sick of seeing you.
I'm not sick of seeing you.
I can still stand it. Here's money. That's fair.
We got some more questions, comments.
We do have some more questions. We got some good ones.
Emailed questions.
Here's Kyoko.
Hi, Kyoko.
This is
I totally fucked up your name.
I'm not quite sure. This
laughing.
question, Chris, to you from Kyoko. What's your favorite animal voice?
Oh.
Elephant.
Well, I mean, I've done dogs and rabbits and Irma, oh my. The answer would be, of the ones I've done, I mean, Ellen, Well, and dragons too. I like doing dragons because there are no rules with dragons. Who's heard of dragon?
Exactly.
I think. But I'm going to go ahead and say, I'll say ermine. Because, I mean, what ermine gets to shout panties at the top of his lungs? This one. That's who. So that was pretty great.
You should do that now.
So ermines.
Hello.
Come on, can you do it? Can you do it?
Maybe if you guys are really awesome. Wait, you already are.
You
Okay.
are awesome.
Just panties? So let me get. You guys want me to yell panties?
Yell whatever you want. You could yell
Well,
fucking
yell what? Totally improv it. Just
biscuits
ad-lib
and jam.
or my line.
Okay.
Come on,
I will yell panties.
yell panties.
Are you guys ready for me to yell panties?
Yes.
I don't know if I'll ever be ready for this. But
Why I'm not looking at you.
I'm not gonna look
Yeah,
at it. I will
want to
turn
make
away.
eye contact with Terri as I yell panties to make things really weird in this room. Please
start
drop
taking
that
my pants
paper.
off.
If only you'd been at guitars.
I know. All right.
Wow, I'm getting a little awkward.
I'm getting awkward.
I'm getting awkward.
No, you're awkward. It's all right. Panties.
Okay.
Panties, go.
Panties! There you go. And then imagine that pitch shifted about 3 semitones up, and that was pretty much... There's some panties for you.
Panties. Panties.
Panties. Yeah, I said panties versus panties, which is a
Panties.
big...
Panties.
Panties. Paninis.
It's like the difference between people that say
Panini.
there's two ways of pronouncing TV.
TV.
There's TV when the emphasis is on the T, and there's TV, which is like I've always heard it TV, but I heard people that say that all the time that go, I'm gonna go watch the TV, and I'm like, I've never. It's so weird.
Is it
to me.
regional? Is it regional?
I think it's regional. I hear
Yeah.
it's mostly it's a Texas thing. I hear it a lot in Texas of people.
I
that
say TV.
TV.
A lot of people, and I mostly hear people say TV, but I do hear people that are like TV.
Well,
and it's just weird. It's kind of
a southern
Tube.
thing. The tube.
the boob tube.
The subway.
boob tube.
A southern thing is to put the accent. Often it's put the accent on the first syllable, like
syllable.
theater, Italian.
Theater,
for,
Italian,
for
yeah.
example. So TV would make sense, you know.
TV, Italian.
All right, this is from
Vanilla
Cheryl. Cheryl, this is to all of us.
All of us.
What anime has affected you emotionally and/or has changed your life?
That's a good question.
And then she has a little bit more, but I'll just stick with that one.
Well, the one that affected me emotionally, I suppose, would be the one that I watched as a kid, because, you know, as a kid you see things through rose-tinted, I mean, like everything, when you go back and you see it, it's like, that wasn't that great. But as a kid,
What was I thinking? Yeah.
and actually it was, that's right, say it with me, G-Force Battle of the Planets.
I love it too.
I
I
love
loved
watching
it too.
that.
You know, I almost don't want to revisit it because
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it as an adult and be like,
Yeah,
as critical as I
Steven
am.
totally, I think, had his world shattered because we watched Robotech, and that was his favorite
Oh,
thing.
see,
He's
that's
like,
another one I never want to revisit because I loved Robotech.
Man, I saw that.
I wasn't a huge anime fan as a kid, but I will actually say the anime that affected me the most emotionally is the one that we can't talk about. I will actually state that it really fucked my world.
So it didn't make you sad, it made you happy.
Yeah, no, and it made me like feel like accomplished as a director. God, I hope you guys don't think it sucks.
Lowest sales of Funimation history. It's like, oh no!
Terry's already fired because it failed.
Can you imagine?
What? Why?
So they're actually going to redub it now.
Another.
That's terrible.
You know what? Both of you fuckers are in it, so
Oh, they're going to keep the same cast.
Yeah, our parts were really strong.
the same engineer, same scripts.
We just need to tweak a few things, Terry. Can you walk over there?
That would be like a nightmare scenario. By the way, everything about this worked except for the record.
Yeah, just, the cast is good.
No, I will
Never
tell
mentioned
you.
the director. Well, we had to.
The
I'll tell you,
reads were a little.
I think I've had, you know, like you, I grew up watching things that like really affected me because
Star
it was
Blazers.
Star Blazers, Voltron was
Yeah.
a big one. You know, the Silverhawks. Do you remember the Silverhawks?
I watched Voltron.
That was a
I
little,
guess
that
I
was a
did.
little later, and a lot of people don't remember it because I don't think it was very long lived. And
What was it?
It's called the Silverhawks, and it was a kind of, you know, space opera type thing. But the
You
heroes,
love those.
the heroes, I do. That's mecha shows and space operas as they're called are like my favorite genre. Really, that and as I got older, I really like horror, sci-fi,
Me too.
anime stuff.
Well, yeah.
But
Of course.
but when I was a
Match.
kid, man, it was the mecha stuff. Like I'd never seen anything like that before. Nothing. So I was completely enthralled to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, you know, I've gone back
Yeah.
and watched Voltron, and I'm like, oh, this isn't as good as I remember.
I
And
know.
I'm probably just being harsh now because being in the
It was
industry,
on
you're
Hulu, and
very
I
critical.
tried. I tried.
But clearly, as a kid, but I watched things and Cowboy Bebop, which was much later. I didn't watch that until like 01 or something. When it already been out for several years at the time. That one really affected me because I just absolutely love that show. I mean, it's a great show. I watch the whole thing usually about once every year.
Yeah, it's definitely something you can rewatch.
It has a lot of rewatch value, and I think that's the kind of show. Had I seen it as a kid, I probably wouldn't have liked it because it's so much more adult oriented. Not being that it's nasty or filthy or sexual. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but just because the storytelling is very subtle, and there's a lot of aspects to it that go over the head, that would go over my head as a kid. So I probably wouldn't have liked it. But man, when I found it not all that long ago, I was like, oh, this is great, and the dub is awesome. The show that dare not speak its name, that just being in that affected me emotionally.
Really?
Yes, it did. I
can't wait till we can talk about it.
Yeah, really.
Well, I'll say it's really funny. I have only ever cried in the booth twice. Like
The first one was Lollipop.
first,
And the second, I remember he kept crying and crying. I was like, what are you upset about?
Why are you peeling onions? Why?
no, I did. It was the first time I cried was actually on Black Blood Brothers, and it was totally unexpected. It was such it was an easy show to do. That character wasn't very emotional. Like he gets tough and fighty, but he never has like a breakdown, anything like that. There are a couple moments where he, is kind of fighting to hold back his emotion, but for the most part, he's not. It's not a terribly. He does not run the gamut of emotions, that character, but there's a scene where Leah Clark, who played Kotaro, was like pleading with him.
Leah Clark, look her up.
Yeah,
awesome.
and she was awesome, and she was pleading with Jiro, the character I played, who was the older brother. As this child, she was pleading with him not to do what he was about to do, and like he was gonna, like, we're gonna go, screw this, we just gotta get you to safety, and Kotaro was desperately trying to convince him, no, we can't do this on our own, we gotta do this, and she was just, there's something about the way she delivered those lines in that scene that just broke my heart, and she was recorded first, and here's this little kid, Kotaro, his little brother, just using this child logic to try to convince an adult of something that they just will not be convinced of. And just watching this poor, child push this rock up that hill just drove me nuts. And I'm doing the scene, and Jiro has to be kind of a dick to Kotaro in that scene. And it was just, for some reason, totally not expecting it. I started getting choked up, and we had to stop for a minute. I'm like, this is really affecting me for some stupid reason. And but that's been the only time I've ever cried in the booth until we did that show, and that one I not only cried, I went home and drank. Like it really kind of fucked my world up. Whoa. I mean, I was very satisfied.
That's the catchphrase. You fucked my world.
And I'm very and I was very proud of it, and I still am. And I think it's probably, I can't wait till we can talk about it, because I think it's some of my best work as an actor. But that that show just really tore me up, and I'm going, man, that's crazy. Have you had experiences like that? And doing anything, working as a director or anything like that?
Like gluttony, just
Yeah, actually, I was going to say that the second part of that question was what property or what changed your life, I think, was the second part.
Yeah.
And I would have to say it would be Full Metal Alchemist.
Really?
And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, of course, because though the character Gluttony himself has not changed my life, although it's made for some lovely con jokes as I'm eating, but but it has, in that it's afforded me the ability to go. That's what's really enabled me to go to a lot of these cons lately, and it's been really great. And I really hope to go to a lot, because it's so cool to see the people and meet the people that that are enjoying what you do and anime in general, and it's really awesome. And that, by the way, is kind of going to these conventions or cons. It's kind of like
cons for those in the biz,
right? For those in the biz, it's kind of like the theater or theatrical version of what we do, because
theater.
Yeah, the theater part. Because, I mean, when you're in the studio, it's 3 people in a room, and then you however long you're there, you then go home and go about your day. But when you go to those conventions or cons, and skipping away, and you meet people who are really into it, and you get to see them and talk about it. That's a very rewarding thing. So this year, I will have gone by the end of this year, just on a plane more times than I've ever been on a plane in my life.
You've been pretty busy this year con-wise, haven't you?
That's awesome.
There'll be about,
and we're doing some cons together coming up.
We have
Colossal Con.
We have
right?
Colossal Con.
When and where is that?
That is in June, right?
June, the first
and that's
weekend
gonna
of
be
June in
Ohio.
I believe Sandusky, Ohio. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
And then there's the one in New Orleans. Is that
Oh yeah,
MechaCon? Is that what
Dude,
it's
you
called?
guys are
Yes.
going to some fun
Yeah.
ones.
yeah. That's gonna
I've
be
never been to New Orleans before.
On the
I
French
can't
Quarter.
wait.
Really?
Yeah.
Never
Neither
been.
have I.
I
Neither have
really
I.
wanna go.
Well, try to smuggle me in your bag or something. Like a really big bag, like a refrigerator box or something.
Carry on.
I've got a couple of friends that are actually going to go because they just want to
that's
see, you know, they've been very supportive of what I do, but apart from that, they're not really anime fans as such. But they really want to go to a con just to experience. I'm like, you really have to. Like, everyone should go to an anime con at least once in their life.
Have they been to New
Yeah.
Orleans before or never?
No, never been
oh,
to New Orleans
great. That'll be great.
I'm going to Chicago next week to Anime Central. That I've never been to Chicago before.
Is
I've
that the
traveled
one
a
with
lot, you know.
Brina?
That's the one with Brina.
We'll hear about that. Stay
I'm sure-
tuned.
I'm sure,
Same bad time,
I'm
same bad
sure
channel.
that con will be legendary before the two of us are done.
Uh-oh.
That or
with
you
each
both
other.
are going to be lame asses.
Ooh, well, it's one of two things.
I can tell you right now that I will not be a lame ass.
Oh, he's touching
I
his
have-
chest. That means something.
I have things
Well.
in the works.
Ooh.
It's probably going to be stupid.
I know. I forget it.
I'm like, I'm confident that this is going to totally maybe work.
It's like you have a me on your shoulder. It's like, it could work, but it couldn't. Oh, that's
It
true.
can work. It might not.
Two devils,
It might
and
not.
yeah.
Two devils
Instead of one
You
angel.
Shouldn't there be an
suck.
angel?
You really suck. Yeah.
What you got?
I have. This is a fun question. This is
That was a
from-
really good
this
question,
is-
by the way, Cheryl.
Yeah, thank you for that. This is from Jackie, and she's like, "Okay, creepy fangirl question time."
Cool. Let's get creepy.
She says, "Okay,
That
I've
would
been a
be
fan of
Jackie.
yours for a long time, and I love many of your characters. Your acting skills never cease to amaze me. But I'm a huge Hanai fangirl. Am I saying that correctly? Hanai?
Actually, I think in that show we said Hanai.
Is it
Hanai.
Hanai?
Yeah.
Okay, Hanai.
Yeah, because in
fangirl.
Big Windup we said Hanai, and
Right.
it was kind of funky.
And so, in your best, Hanai.
Hanai?
Hanai.
Hanai.
Thank you. I'm terrible at this. I'm terrible at pronouncing Japanese words.
So
I don't
glad
know
you're.
How have I lasted
you're
longer?
working
In your best Hanai voice, can you say "I love you, Jackie"?
Well, now it's worth. I can, and it's worth mentioning that this is another character where technically it was my own voice, but Hanai had pretty much one level, which was 11. He yelled and was so upset. Like he got so. I mean, he yelled almost every line. Like I remember
Yeah.
just taking breaks
Yeah.
where, like not since Dragon Ball Z do I remember screaming and yelling that much. Hanai yelled all the time. So if it were to be "I love you, Jackie" as Hanai, it would have to be yelled to Jackie.
I think that would make
I
Jackie's
yell
day.
"I love you" to people all the fucking time.
I think that would make Jackie.
Hey, Kason, I love you, fucker.
See, if only we had met a guitar sitter, I could have heard that
Do-do-do-do-do. Anime forum. Terri Doty leaving Stephen Hoff.
It's okay. I'll take Steven.
I know.
That
No.
That kind of leaves Joshua in the lurch, but he'll figure something out.
No, Joshua takes Stephen.
every day. Is he going to New Orleans, by the way?
What's that?
Is he going to New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay.
He
So-
won't be coming with me to ColossalCon, unfortunately. He can't because time won't allow. Can't take the time off of work.
Now that's at a water park,
Yeah, I know.
so that's gonna be crazy fun times. Also,
What do
I'm
I have
going
to
to-
pay you to go? Seriously, water park?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna get
It's a water
swimmers there
park, and
immediately.
I can't wait to not put on a swimsuit. I'm totally
I
not
can't
going
wait
to
to-
swim at all.
I can't wait to buy a swimsuit
I
and
can't
put
wait-
a giant T-shirt over it.
that goes to your like to my knees. I can't wait to get my 1920s wool button up with my.
That's what I'm gonna get. Yeah. We're gonna head over
I'll
our
be like,
mustache.
Got Joel's mustache.
Eggs and steak.
Just jump into the water.
Are you gonna say I love you?
And the line is, "I love you, Jackie."
I love you, Jackie.
Okay, now
She loves your work.
hopefully this doesn't sound like panties, but let's see. All right,
We won't look at you. This is just between you and Jackie.
Jackie. I love you, Jackie. That's pretty much what Hanai always sounded like.
Yay! There you go.
I'm sure that will get a lot of play.
All right, now
I'm sure
I've
she will
got
listen to that over and over again.
I've
That was
got
for you,
a-
Jackie. Thank you for the question.
Sorry,
And for everything,
Steven.
because Jackie's awesome.
I've got a Lipton, James Lipton. You a bit. Let me get uncomfortable. Okay.
What is your favorite? What is your favorite curse word?
Bernard Pivot. In the words of Bernard Pivot.
In the words of Bernard Pivot.
Yes.
I gotta get jowler. Now,
Getting jolly with it.
Oh,
Chris, if you arrived at the pearly gates, they're pearly.
and that's a
What would
big
you
if.
like St. Peter to say to you? And this comes from Jack Cox.
Jack, I think I know why you even asked me that question. Very shrewd, very shrewd. I think the answer would be, it's gonna be okay now.
Well, just make it less awkward. Tatum, you're at the pearly gates.
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, what would God say? It'd say, the beatings will now stop.
Yeah, no, like, I'm on the inside the actor's studio, and James Lipton reads this question. I'm like, try not to say a joke answer.
I know. Like,
Fucking James Lipton.
his notes catch fire and just explode in his face. I mean, I was gonna go with welcome, but I thought I'd
Speaking of James Lipton, a little fun fact I learned about him this week. He actually apparently composed the theme music to the Thundercats.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's true. Like, he totally confirmed it and everything. I'm like, I had no idea. The man is my hero now.
Wow, he's a
He
Renaissance
actually
man.
also used to be something of a pimp to a woman in France.
He used to get a woman in France sexual partners. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was watching the special. It was like a 200th episode, and he had Dave Chappelle interview him.
Oh, that's fine.
James Lipton.
Nice.
And so he talks. There's a specific name for it. Like it's where he just took care of her. Like, he didn't pay for anything, but he made sure that she was always taken care of.
Wow.
And in good health and all that loveliness.
Nice.
Wow.
He's like a character from like a Balzac
I
novel.
could totally have
And I
just
said
heard
Balzac,
like a
by the way, not a Balzac novel.
something like that. I
David
could be
Balzac,
wrong,
one of the greatest
but
French
that's what
authors
I
to ever
remember
live,
from the
people.
thing. Okay,
Look it up.
Tatum,
Yes.
you're at the pearly gates. What do you want St. Peter to say to you?
What I want him to say is, really? Well, all right. And like, well, you're in the book. All right, I guess it's too late to send you back now.
I don't want in there if they're going to go.
That's what I
guess you can
suspect he'll
go
say.
in.
I'll be like, because I'll be just as surprised as St. Peter will be to show up at the pearly gates. They're like, really? I really wasn't expecting. I have to be perfectly honest with you,
It's cool
Mr.
in
Peter.
here. That's
St.
weird.
Peter, I really wasn't anticipating this at all.
No shit, the water's free.
No shit.
This is heaven.
Really? Fully
Heavenly.
furnished apartment? All bills paid? That is fucking crazy. Yes, I want some of that.
What? No, seriously, you want him to say that to you?
No, I
don't know.
I would if I would like him to say, you know, welcome, and there's some people here that'd like to see you, because there's a lot of people, you know, that I would love to see again if that were possible. If they're there.
Nana didn't make it.
That was like a Friends thing where it's just like, oh, I'm sure my grandma's just looking up at us and smiling, and they go, looking up? No. Oh yeah, no, like, I loved her, but she was a bitch.
Because I suspect if I go the other route and go to you know what's the dude in Dante's Inferno, Minos, who like wraps his tail around himself, the number of levels you're to be, you know, thrown down into hell. If I'm standing before Minos, who's the hell version of St. Peter, he'd probably be like, there'd probably be some people down there wanting to see me as well. There's a lot of friends. So either way, I know there's going to be some place for me to stay.
I don't know.
In the afterlife.
Motel 6.
I think that no matter what, it'd pretty much be like, for me, it'd be like just being amateur stand-up night. It'd be open mic night for me. No, like St. Peter, I don't know, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think about heaven. It's
Because you're already here.
Yes.
I hear you.
I'm so happy. But no, I guess
stop doing that.
there's been a mix-up. You're immortal. That'd be cool.
There's been a mix-up. Whoops, you're immortal. I'm not very good at remembering things, but you're immortal. I don't want it from you.
I thought I'd give like the stupid teen response, like, I don't know, and guess what? You could shoot fucking lightning out of your fingertips.
Guess what?
Guess what?
Newsflash, Terry.
I would like
Knock, knock, who's there? Not you, because you're going back.
Hey, what's up, laser fingers? What? That's right. Sweet.
Okay, so the three nuns go to heaven. This just makes me think of it. I've got to tell this joke now. Okay, three nuns go to heaven.
Getting comfy.
They've died of natural causes. Yeah, get comfortable. So we're gonna be here for a while. And when they show up, St. Peter at the pearly gates tells them all, you know, because you've dedicated your lives, you've been devout and very good people, we're going to, you know, because you're nuns, we're going to allow you, before you enter into heaven, you get to go back for one day. It can be any day, any time, anywhere. You can be anyone you want for one day, and anything you do, any sins, totally on the house. So laugh it up. Just have a ball. And so they think about it for a few minutes, and the first nun's like, I'd like to be Lana Turner, you know, and at this such and such date, and, you know, poof, off she goes.
How old is this joke?
Well, they're nuns. I mean, come on.
I want to be a newsie.
And, you know, the other one's like, I want to be Lady Gaga. Okay, there you go. There's a hip. There's a hip. There's a
Fine. That we can all get behind that.
And then the last nun is this little old, just impossibly withered, little stooped thing comes hobbling over, and St. Peter very gently says, well, and who would you like to be, my dear? She says, I would like to be Sarah Piplin. Sarah Piplin, you said? Yeah, that's my old woman voice, by the way. I've never played an old woman before.
That is
Imagine
what I am
that.
laughing at.
And
is that voice?
it's just, he's like, Sarah Piplin, I don't like that name. So he goes and, you know, opens up like the Book of Life, and he's looking through there, and he's like, I'm sorry, sweetie, there's no Sarah Piplin. Are you sure you've got the name right? And she's like, well, I have a newspaper article. And she takes out this little yellow frayed piece of paper that she's clearly had on her for decades, and she hands it to St. Peter, who looks at it and laughs and goes, sweetheart, you're mistaken. The Sahara pipeline was laid by over 20,000 men.
Oh. Nice.
That was a long way to find there was actually no toy in the bottom of that cereal box.
That's a long tail on that kite. Terry, don't jump. Terry's got 1 foot on the chair, 1 foot out the window.
I will never tell a formulaic joke like that on the air.
I don't
again.
do
More of a
those
stream of
because it's
consciousness in the future.
No, I always fuck up the joke, and I do like go like, so it's just like, what's the difference between peanut butter and jam? Like blah blah blah. I'm like, no wait, it's shit.
And then it becomes funny watching you mess it up. So
Yeah.
it still works though.
Yeah,
Either
no.
way, we're still laughing. But
Yeah.
I'm so used to being laughed at, not for the joke, so I'm just like, fuck it. But yeah.
things got real.
It's got
Speaking of real, I think it's about that time.
Is it about that time?
It's about that
You,
time
sir,
on my
have
arm
been-
that doesn't have a watch.
You have been real.
Dude.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you. It's
you.
been a blast. We have to have you back sometime.
Well, do I have time to read this one thing?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Because
Well, is it War and Peace or is it like an email? Because
that's fair. That's a fair question. Let's see. I want to read this because it was really moving to me. And talk amongst yourselves because now it has to load up.
Talking.
Hello.
So, how about that local sports team?
I'm not going to see you next week. That's going to be sad.
No, you're not. I'm going to be in Anime Central. Probably working my butt off too. They're going to keep me busy. It's good. I like keeping busy.
Dude, we're going to be busy in the fall. I don't want to. There are some things coming that anime show fans that you guys may or may not
busy.
like.
Got it.
But yeah.
Oh, you
all
have
right.
it?
I got it. Okay, I wanted to read this because it was really moving to me and it reminded me. Well, I'll just read it first.
What is it?
April 21st, 2010. Dear Funimation voice actors, my name is Ashley Gray and I'm a fan from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I've been watching and listening to the anime you all have been on since the early part of the millennium. It was because of an act of kindness by a friend of mine who showed me around the facility back in 2002. There I met some of you, and my respect and admiration for you all only increased more. I happen to have a condition called cerebral palsy that leaves me unable to walk and wheelchair bound. In a way that helps me connect with your performances because you don't give up and you give it your all. Every time I hear you, it helps me forget about the situation I'm faced with every day. I can cry, laugh, soar, and even walk through the characters that you play. I love to write my own scripts and stories with you in mind, mainly because I want to write something that you will love to work on someday. That is one of the reasons I want to strive to be the best writer I can be. I realize that I haven't met you all. However, if my words ever reach you somehow, remember to never stop smiling or loving the work that you do. Thank all of you for sharing your incredible talent with the world. Best wishes, Ashley Gray.
Yeah, that made my frickin' day when
Me
I
too.
found that.
Me too.
Because
Yeah.
I forget who originally got it, but Tara sent it to all of us, and it's amazing.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
Hell yeah.
It's the best part of what we do. Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. Well, Ashley, thank you for that. Thank you, because you have no idea how that makes us feel to read something like that. And I'm going to stop talking because I get choked up thinking about stuff like that.
Not me, because I'm tough.
I'm not.
I knew you'd be the one.
I'm reduced to a little kitten when I read things like that. But
Yeah.
thank you. That is impossibly generous and wonderful of you to say. And thank you, Cason, for reading that.
Absolutely. I mean, it really reminds us that's the reason that's why we do what we do, and that is
the best part of what we do.
Yeah.
I can't say anything. I don't. On a serious like that just took it to a new. No joke intended or anything like that. So I guess on that note, because where do you go after something like that? I encourage anybody to send us anything, and we'll make everybody read it. I promise.
Totally.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
And
I've
been a
had
wonderful
blast.
guest.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I've had a great time. Thanks a lot for having me.
We'll have to get you back.
Awesome. I'd love to.
I say get you back, like, isn't to get you back on the show, not to, like, get you back.
We're going to get you back for this.
Get you back.
You ruined it.
for wasting 2 hours of my life. But you've been wonderful.
Yes.
You've been wonderful.
And
Thank
remember,
you.
no show next week, but we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.